Selamat datang di
Cek.
Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Lahir tahun 1964 sebagai Institut Keguruan Ilmu Pendidikan atau IKIP Surabaya, menjadi lembaga yang ditugaskan sebagai perguruan tinggi pencetak tenaga pendidik. Seiring dengan perkembangan kebutuhan pendidikan dan laju zaman yang kian melesat, UNESA menjaga marwah itu dengan meneguhkan diri sebagai pusat pengembangan pendidikan, pelestarian seni tradisional, ilmu keolahragaan, serta ramah disabilitas. Terus bertumbuh menjadi perguruan tinggi terkemuka, UNESA kini mengelola 7 fakultas yang terdiri dari 73 program studi S1 dan D4, serta 23 program studi pasca sarjana. Fakultas Ilmu Keolahragaan, Fakultas Bahasa dan Seni, Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan, Fakultas Ilmu Sosial dan Hukum, Fakultas Ekonomi, Fakultas Matematika dan Ilmu Pengetahuan Alam, Fakultas Teknik, Program Pasca Sarjana. Memiliki 2 klaster keilmuan, program studi berbasis kependidikan dan non-kependidikan, UNESA senantiasa meningkatkan kualitas penyelenggaraan pendidikan, memupuk tradisi ilmiah dalam penelitian, menggelorakan semangat pengabdian pada masyarakat, berjejaring berkolaborasi dengan pemangku kepentingan, serta mewujudkan pelayanan yang prima, transparan, dan akuntabel.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Di usia ke-56 tahun ini, kami dengan bangganya mengajak Anda untuk lebih dekat dan mengenal tentang UNESA. Kami terus berkomitmen tidak hanya menyelenggarakan pendidikan terbaik
Recording in
tenaga
progress.
pendidik profesional masa depan, juga sangat berfokus untuk menciptakan lulusan yang berkarakter, tangguh, kreatif, inovatif, dan mampu berkolaborasi pada siapapun, berbudaya yang humanis dengan spesifikasi yang unggul dalam hal seni, olahraga, dan pendidikan disabilitas yang komprehensif.
Recording stop.
Pendidikan tak hanya menjadi intisari keberadaan, tetapi juga menjadi nafas perjuangan. UNESA menjadi salah satu kampus penyelenggara program pendidikan profesi guru yang menghasilkan tenaga pendidik profesional. UNESA terus menyelenggarakan berbagai program pemberdayaan sebagai stimulus untuk mengembangkan sumber daya dosen dan mahasiswa. Pengembangan riset serta produk-produk inovatif menjadi solusi atas permasalahan yang ada pada masyarakat. UNESA, rumah para juara. Ekosistem yang mendukung dalam mencetak sumber daya manusia berkualitas, kompetitif, dan berwawasan global sehingga mampu bersaing di tingkat nasional maupun internasional. Kolaborasi adalah kunci kemajuan dalam upaya menjadi kampus berdaya saing global. UNESA berkolaborasi dengan sejumlah institusi berskala internasional, baik di bidang industri, pemerintahan, maupun institusi pendidikan. Naik kelas dengan kelengkapan fasilitas. Sebagai wadah dalam mengembangkan minat, bakat, serta potensi mahasiswa, UNESA juga terus mengembangkan sarana dan prasarana yang mampu menunjang kegiatan akademik maupun non-akademik. Gor Futsal Internasional, Asrama Kontainer, Sport Center, Pusat Bahasa, Geraha UNESA, Student Activity Center, Jogging Track, lapangan berkuda, Gor Basket Internasional, Unit Kegiatan Mahasiswa, Seni, Pengembangan Karakter dan Kepribadian, Olahraga. Aktivitas outdoor.
UNESA, 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 UNESA,
UNESA.
UNESA, satu langkah di depan.
Good morning, selamat pagi from Indonesia. Honorable speakers, professors, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third International Conference on Research and Academic Community Services, hosted by Institute of Research and Community Service, State University of Surabaya. Saturday, 9th of October 2021. I'm really happy to welcome you here and thank you very much for your participation in this conference. Ladies and
Recording
gentlemen,
in
I'd like to
progress.
welcome his Rector for Academic Affairs,
Recording stopped.
Professor Bambang Yulianto, and also the Head of the Institute for Research and Community Service, Professor Dr.
Recording in
Darni.
progress.
Thank you very much, Madam, for the guidance and also for the support to the committee for this event. Thank you very much. And also, I'd like to thank you very much for the distinguished speakers, the keynote speakers, and the invited speakers. Thank you very much. Welcome, Professor Auzuil de Alexandria, PhD of Instituto Federal e Educação, Brazil. Thank you very much for joining with us this morning. And thank you very much from Singapore, Professor Koh Kun Tek, PhD of Physical Education and Sport Sciences, National Education in National Institute of Education, Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. And also, I'd like to thank you very much, Professor Takeshi Fukusako, PhD of Kumamoto University, Japan. And thank you for the invited speaker, Professor Dr. Subir Kumar Satkar of Jadavpur University, Kolkata, India. I also would like to thank you very much for the representative of IEEE, Chair of IEEE Indonesian Sections. Terima kasih Bapak Wahyudi Hasbi for joining us this morning. And thank you for the collaboration for this event, Bapak Wahyudi. Professors, senior members of the faculty, committee, and participants, thank you. And again, welcome to the conference. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference will take place in 2 days, today, 9th of October, and tomorrow. So the conference is organized by the Institute of Research and the Community Service, State University of Surabaya, with support funding from Directorate General of Research and Development, Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology in 2021 in the scheme of International Scientific Conference Assistance. So this is also part of the university's commitment to readiness to meet the new era that's been attempted and materialized in the scheme raised in the seminar with the theme of sustainable innovation in research and community services for better quality towards Society 5.0. Ladies and gentlemen, to open today's conference, would like to invite you to listen the national anthem of Indonesia along with the Universities March. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen for the national anthem of Republic of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya. Operator, please. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your participation, for listening solemnly to the national anthem of Indonesia Raya. Professors, faculty members, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, would like to thank you very much for your participations. So the committee has been working so hard to host this conference. So currently, we have accepted and reviewed over 250 papers and to be presented in the conference and also published in the reputable proceedings. For detailed information, for this reporting speech will be addressed by the chairperson of the conference, Dr. Nur Hayati. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Dr. Nur Hayati as the chairperson of the conference.
Thank you for Mr. Swab for the time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Vice Rector of Universitas Negeri Surabaya, the Honorable Chair of the IEEE Indonesia section, the Honorable of the keynote speakers, the distinguished guests, and the participants. It gives me great pleasure to all of the Icracos participants. Welcome to the 2020 the third International Conference on Research and Academic Community Service. Due to the COVID-19, the Icracos Conference is organized by the Institution of Research and Community Service called in the virtual event. This conference is sponsored by IEEE MTT Antenna Propagation Chapter, Indonesia section, and the Universitas Negeri Surabaya. The theme of the conference is Sustainable Innovation in Research and Community Service for the better quality of life towards Society 5. The Icracos article comes from some universities, domestic and the international, such as from Brazil, Philippines, Japan, Iraq, Sri Lanka, India, Taiwan, Australia. We would like to appreciate all of the keynote speakers, reviewers, committees, participants for their support and participation. We would like to give gratitude to the Universitas Negeri Surabaya as the organizer and IEEE MTT Antenna Propagation Chapter Indonesia section as the sponsorship. Finally, I will all participate a successful and enjoyable conference. I hope you will find this program interesting, useful, and stimulating. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the chairperson of the conference, Dr. Nur Hayati, for her commitments with the team to make this conference happen. Once again, thank you very much. So at the end of the conference, ladies and gentlemen, the selected papers will be published to the appointed journals in the National Conference Service Proceedings by reputable journals. So in this occasion, this morning, we are so glad to have the representative of IEEE, so the chair of the IEEE Indonesian sections, Bapak Dr. Wahyudi Hasbi MCom, to address the welcoming speech to the audience. Bapak Wahyudi, are you with us this morning?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, Bapak, please.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, colleagues, researcher, professional, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning, a prosperous and warm greetings. First of all, please allow me to greet the Honorable Rector of the Surabaya State University, represented by Vice Rector Professor Dr. Bambang Yulianto, MPD, General Chair Icracos, Dr. Nur Hayati, STMT, all distinguished keynote speakers from various institutions and countries, committee, all participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's such an honor and a pleasure for me to be able to greet you all and give a few words to represent the IEEE Indonesia sections at the opening of this conference. On behalf of IEEE Indonesia section, I would like to express my sincere gratitude and welcome you to the 2021 Third International Conference on Research and Academic Community Service, Icracos, organized by Institute of Research and Community Services, Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Distinguished guests, colleagues, researchers, ladies and gentlemen, 2021 Third International Conference on Research and Academic Community Service, or Icracos, is represented to serve as a platform for academics, researchers, and practitioners to submit case studies of practice, theoretical papers, empirical studies, and other papers that address any topic within the broad areas of electronics and control system, telecommunication and optic communications, power electronic technology and applications, informatics and computer system, data science, STEM education, interdisciplinary engineering research, and social and humanitarian technology. Distinguished guests, colleagues, researchers, professional, ladies and gentlemen, as we all aware, the impact of COVID-19 is felt in every aspect, and there has been a shift in the standard of living. It has strengthened the drive and encouraged intensified collaboration between government, companies, and non-profit organizations, and it's also highlighted the requirement for communities to drag together and handle the race. In just a few months' time, the COVID-19 crisis has brought about years to change in the way companies in all sectors and regions do business. Broadband, wireless communication, 5G, Zoom, and other platforms, all of this technology have been elevated by pandemic, including highest demand of electricity in every houses due to the pandemic. Telecommunication technologies such as 5G and other means of wireless technology can reliably connect hospital, ambulance, and homes to make the healthcare service more resource efficient and more effective to manage pandemic together with normal operations. Another of such wireless communication system is the effective tracing of potential COVID-19 contact whereabouts by employing cellular network type of by localization techniques and offer disease management via integrated personal mobile application. As in Indonesia, we call it as Peduli Lindungi application. In such show, I believe that the theme of this conference, sustainable innovation in research and community services for better quality of life towards Society 5.0, is very relevant to these rapid changes, and it's very important in highlighting the innovation to accelerate the shift to digital and fundamentally shake up the living landscape. Distinguished guests, keynote speakers, ladies and gentlemen, IEEE Indonesia as a regional organizational unit of IEEE was founded in 1988, and over the past 33 years, IEEE Indonesia has contributed significantly to various activities that encourage science and technology for humanity in Indonesia. So together with volunteers, members, and all stakeholders, IEEE Indonesia has produced various activities by supporting more than 60 high-quality conferences every year, including this conference. Compared with the previous year, in 2021, the conference supported by IEEE Indonesia is increased by 49%. So the high-qualified conference papers within the scope of IEEE are published in the IEEE Explore Digital Library, which is typically indexed by Scopus Web of Science and any other major databases, with more than 6 million publications and more than 15 million downloads every month. As we all know, IEEE always maintain high-qualified publication as part of our intellectual culture. IEEE Indonesia also holds more than 40 professional, technical, non-technical, and administrative activities every year for all its members. So we currently have more than 2,500 members and more than 60 senior members consisting of professional, industry, academia, and government research persons. IEEE Indonesia also has supported 26 technical society chapters, joint chapters, including 30 university student branches and 9 IEEE student branch chapters. So all these chapters have become a forum for members to have various technical and social activities and provide Indonesian student members experience. On July 27, 2021, IEEE Indonesia also has established a cooperation agreement with Directorate General of Higher Education, Research and Technology to synchronize and support the IEEE activities into the Indonesian Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology program, including taking part in the Campus Merdeka and Merdeka Belajar or Independent Campus Freedom to Learn. This historical collaboration shall strengthen the development of Indonesian higher education, especially the 8 leading indicators of higher education in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion, I would like to express my gratitude to all of the committee of Icracos who have worked very hard in preparing for this high-qualified IEEE conference. I'm very aware that putting together all this conference in this size is not an easy task. Therefore, I sincerely hope your cooperation and active participation in all of this program. I hope all of you will have an enjoyable and valuable experience during this conference events. So please stay active, stay healthy. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Bapak Dr. Wahyudi Hasbi, the chair of IEEE Indonesian sections, for the support and also for the collaborations. So, Bapak Wahyudi, we are looking forward to more collaborations and also especially in the scientific publication and forums at our institutions. So thank you very much, Bapak Wahyudi. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, we proceed to the opening remarks by the Rector of the State University of Surabaya. So for this opportunity, we would like to invite you to watch the recorded speech addressed by the Vice Rector for Academic Affairs of UNESA, Bapak Professor Dr. Bambang Yulianto. Ladies and gentlemen, please.
I'm Professor Bambang Yulianto, Vice Rector for Academic Affairs of UNESA. Ladies and gentlemen, Let me read opening remarks of Rector of UNESA. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Semoga sejahtera untuk kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Good morning from Surabaya. The honorable speakers, faculty members, and participants, we would like to welcome you to the third International Conference on Research and Academic Community Services, Icracos, by Institute for Research and Community Service. This international conference is an annual event to accommodate researchers, practitioners, relevant parties of universities, community service programs, from government official to private sectors. This year, the conference focuses on sustainable innovation in research and community services for Society 5.0. In this occasion, we invite prominent speakers of respective fields to share their insight, relevant topics and ideas for the community. We extend our gratitude to the speakers of the conference. Professor Aizuir R. de Alexandria, PhD, from Brazil. Thank you, Prof. Professor Kontek, PhD, from Singapore. Thank you for your coming. Professor Takeshi Fukusako, thank you, from Japan. Professor Dr. Subir Kumar Sarkar from India. Thank you very much. And Dr. Wahyudi Hasbi from Indonesia. Selamat datang. Ladies and gentlemen, our strategic plan in the next 5 years, UNESA is working hard to be a recognized regional teaching university. Currently, our university is one of the leading teacher education university and at the same time a top-tier research university in Indonesia. It is a part of our concern on the contribution to the society through research-based policies, education, and science, through innovation and collaboration with relevant parties. This conference provides a space for the parties, researchers, and stakeholders to share their interdisciplinary ideas in the area of engineering, science, STEM education, and social and humanity research. Hopefully, we all can significantly give more contribution to the nation advancement in the future. Speakers, delegates, and participants. In this opportunity, I would like to extend my gratitude to all parties, the host, the webinar today. First, organizing committee, Institute for Research and Community Service, Professor Dr. Darni, and all parties, thank you very much. Thank you for the support and guidance for the conference and other social activities that contribute to the well-being of the community. Second, we thank Center for Artificial Intelligence and Scientific Publication, Dr. Elimatul Imah and team, for their commitment to manage the conference and other academic forums at university. Speakers, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Rector of UNESA, I would like to officially open today's conference on research and community services with the name of code. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We do hope the conference gave positive insight to the students to build our community. For all participants, happy conferencing and good luck. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Rector Professor Nur Hasan.
Thank you very much, professors, faculty members, and participants for your participation during the opening ceremony. Now, we come up to the one of our favorite sessions, photo sessions. So, ladies and gentlemen, participants and delegates, I would like to invite you to turn on your camera for about 1 minute ahead. So, we are going to have a photo sessions. So the operator and the committee will take our pictures simultaneously and randomly. So don't forget to put your biggest smile during the photo session for about 1 minute ahead. Committee, please. The participants, I would like to invite you to turn on your video and put your biggest smile for about 1 minute ahead. So this conference, ladies and gentlemen, is part of the commitment of the State University of Surabaya as one of the most leading research universities and teaching institutes in Indonesia, with the spirit of one step ahead, leading forwards, UNESA satu langkah di depan. So we invite academics, researchers, and practitioners to submit case studies of practice, theoretical papers, empirical studies, and other papers in the area of electronics, engineering, telecommunication and informations, data science, STEM education, interdisciplinary engineering research, and social humanity and technology. So I think I agree with the Vice Rector during the remarks that interdisciplinary research right now becomes the key for the sustainable development and bringing more impacts to broader audience. So we do hope that today's conference sparks more ideas and initiations in the area of engineering, IT, STEM education, and social humanities for sustainable development. Thank you very much, the operator, and thank you for the participants, delegates, for giving us the biggest smile during the photo sessions. I hope that this weekend, still productive weekend for us, so to give positive contributions to the broader audience. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, now we proceed to the plenary sessions. So in the plenary sessions, we are delighted to have some prominent speakers. So we have 3 keynote speakers and 1 invited speakers during the plenary sessions. So for the plenary sessions, we have Professor Auzir de Alexandria, and also we have Professor Koh Kun, Tax PhD, and also we have Professor Takeshi Fukusako, and also we have the invited speaker, Professor Dr. Subir Kumar Sarkar of India. So for this plenary session, ladies and gentlemen, our colleagues, Dr. Fitria Indah, Senior Lecturer of English Department, will be serving as the moderator. Once again, we'd like to thank you very much for your participation during the opening ceremony. So we will see you again in the plenary sessions while the committee are preparing for some technical stuff.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Sueb. Now we come to our main session, the plenary session. Dear colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to introduce our keynote speaker for today's conference. As we have introduced before, that we actually have 4 keynote speakers for the International Conference on Research and Academic Community Services 2020. And now it is my honor to invite Professor Auzir de Alexandria, PhD. Professor Alexandria is the professor at the Federal Institute of Education, Science and Technology of Sierra. He is also the leader of the Computer Simulation Research Group at IFCE. He has a degree in electrical engineering and a bachelor degree in computer science from the Federal University of Campina Grande. He has a master degree and doctoral degree in teleinformatics engineering from the Federal University of Sierra. And as a researcher, he works in the field of computer vision, mobile robotics, biomedical engineering, artificial neural networks, and industrial automation. Automation, yes. So, good morning and maybe good evening there, Professor Auxer de Alexandria. Welcome. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And today, Professor Auxer Alexandria will talk about computer vision applications. But before we start, I would like to announce that we will have 35 minutes for presentation and 10 minutes for question and answer. So I would like to invite for the participants to post questions and comments on the chat box. Professor Auxer D. Alexandria, PhD, time is yours. Thank you.
Good morning. Can you listen to me?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be with you, all of you here. It's a great pleasure to be here. I'm talking now from Brazil, Fortaleza, Ceará State. May I share the slides? Okay. Okay. Well, my name is Auxer de Alexandria, and the theme of our talk today is about computer vision applications. I would like to thank Naruyachi for the invitation, okay, and Dr. Alexandre Manissoba, also, from Instituto Federal de São Paulo. So we are here to join the meeting. I am here in Brazil. Most of you are here in Indonesia. It's about 18,000 kilometers, okay? I work at IFCE, Instituto Federal do Ceará, and this is one of the units of a big network, okay, in Brazil. More than 500 units join this network. So each dot here we see in Brazilian map, this is a unit of federal institutes in Brazil. Okay, so we are here in Ceará. We can zoom here. My stage is Ceará, and inside Ceará we have 34 units. Okay, 34 units along all the states. I live here in the capital, is Fortaleza, where you have the main campus. Okay, I'm very happy to be here from all of you by the internet. This is the directory of IFCE. Okay, this is this building, and this is the memorial, because our institute it is more than 100 years old, so we have a memorial to save all our memories. This is the campus where I live, Campus Fortaleza, and these are some images that we can see from our state, Ceará. Yeah, the main paisages are beach. Okay, the backlands is dry and warm, and we have some small mountains where the climate is moderated. Okay. Talking a little bit about me, I am an electrical engineer, emphasis in electronics, and master and PhD in teleinformatic engineer, and I work at IFC since December 2003. Well, we are here to talk about computer vision systems. So we are talking about some applications that we developed along these years here in IFC. Okay, some applications in many areas. Okay. What are computer vision systems? If we talk about computer vision systems, somebody asking me what does it means, so I would say that is a system that can provide to a computer the ability to see things, to detect details, to detect objects in images. Okay, so computer vision is part of artificial intelligence because view is an attribute of human beings. Okay, when you want to say good things to a person, okay, so you say here, oh, you are a good observer. Okay, so this is a meaning to say that that person is intelligent. Okay, so person, the girl or the boy who listen that, it becomes very happy when you say that it is a good observer. The same to computer systems. Okay, so the computer systems that can see anything, perceive anything by images in a scene. So this is something that is considered smart, considered intelligent. That is the importance of computer vision system. But let's compare computer vision system to computer graphics that we know, we hear sometimes about. Talk about digital image processing in computer vision also as well. So computer graphic systems, they take as input a same description. Okay, for example, triangle, a square, circle. A description can be in numbers or in words, something like that. Okay, and from this same description, we can take a digital image that can represent that same description. Okay, when I listen about computer graphics, I remember the movies. Okay, special Avatar, yeah, and I begin to remember, try to imagine, in fact, that how was the first time that the writer of the story, okay, he was presented to the producer the idea to write Avatar film, okay, the Avatar movie, but I think he told a story, some words, and then those words, initial words, became very successful movie called Avatar. Because a movie is a sequence of digital image, okay, in this case. Well, digital image processing is different. The input of the system, you have a digital image, and then you have here a processor who process mathematical method, algorithms, and then you have a digital image, a modified one regarding to the input image. Okay, so you process, you modify, you transform the original image. In computer vision system, it is the opposite of computer graphics. You start with a digital image, and then you get the description of the scene described by the digital image, because an image describes a scene. Scene is what happens in reality, okay? So this is the difference between computer graphics, digital image, and computer vision. A typical computer vision system, we can observe by this block diagram, okay? So we have the first block, image acquisition, pre-processing, image segmentation, feature extraction, identification, classification, and output. Okay, image acquisition is the part of the system that is nearest to the reality, to the scenes. Okay, this is the origin of the image that we work to. Okay, so this can be a camera, a webcam, as the one that you are seeing my face. Okay, so it can be a photographic camera. Okay, it can be a tomograph, a radar. It can be a telescope. Okay, so many kinds of acquisition systems. Okay, so one thing that is very important that sometimes we forget that the illumination, the lighting is something very important. Okay, to it is also important to control the hardware of the image acquisition. Even a webcam is important to control, especially in computer vision systems. Okay, then the image acquisition. After the image acquisition block, you have here the acquired image. Okay, this is the input to pre-processing block. The pre-processing block, its aim is to prepare the input image to the segmentation block, to image segmentation, because sometimes here you have some noise, okay, or some any fault in lighting, illumination, and then you have to correct, make some correction to improve the image to the image segmentation. Image segmentation is the main block in a typical computer vision system. It's the main one. It's the heart of the system. Okay, so its objective is to separate from the to cut, okay, the image, the input image, and get the sub image. I mean, the parts of the image, the input image, that are important to the application, to the problem solution. Okay, for example, if you are trying to recognize the number plate of cars, license number plate, okay, license plate of a car. There you have numbers, you have letters, and you want to recognize, to check in a database if the car is okay with the documents, with the papers or not. Okay, so if you need to recognize the number plate, so you have to segmentate the plate. You take a photo of the car, the complete car, by an angle that is possible to see, to perceive, to capture the plate number, and then you try to separate only the plate number. Okay, and then if you want to make a deeper segmentation, you segmentate the letters and the algorithms of the number plate, each one of the image of the letters and the numbers. Okay, so at the output of the image segmentation, you have some sub images, small images, that is a subset of the input image. Okay, so this small image, you take some features of them, some characteristics of them, okay, to prepare to the identification. Okay, so this part of computer vision, feature extraction and identification, normally you use artificial intelligence algorithms, especially machine learning algorithms. Okay, something today very always, but nowadays also nowadays too. Something very important is the feature stack, because if you choose wrong parameters for the identification, or you choose algorithms to extract the characteristics of the subimage wrongly, okay, wrong parameters, then the identification will be difficult. Okay, so but if you don't segmentate well, you have nothing to classify. Okay, so every block is important. Main one is segmentation, and this part here more and more takes its importance. So people who work with computer vision systems, normally they work with machine learning algorithms too. Okay, that's it. Well, we're gonna show at this moment, in the next minutes, some applications of computer vision systems. And I will talk about some industrial and commercial applications, and also some biomedical ones, because are the main applications that I work with. Okay, we work with in our sector. Well, one of the first application we can talk about is the segmentation of metal microstructures. It is also called as metallography. Okay, so we have here a cast iron sample, okay, seen by a microscope about 600 times, a zoom of 600 times, and then we use a computer vision system to segmentate the microstructure, like graphite, okay, and perlite, something like that. Okay, we have 3 microstructure here, and then we can use in the system we use the artificial neural network, multi-layer perceptor, to classify what kind of microstructure we have in each part of the image. Okay, so in this case, we can perceive here the percentage of each microstructure, and this is the output of the system. Okay, this is another simple computer vision system that is using to calculate the diameter and also the perimeter, yes, of this mark during the hardness test, okay, in metals. So to make this analysis, we use the image of also from another microscope, okay, so a microscope to take the image of the a mark that we put with a kind of can I say it? Okay, a kind of penetrator. Okay, we take a penetrator to make this mark on the metal. Okay, this is very important, because we have many images to analyze, hundreds of images, and it is quicker and safer to make using a computer vision system. The same here, metallography. This is a welding process, and we can see we can measure the quality of the welding using a computer vision system. Okay, the importance, okay, is also the same, because you have many images in the industry. For example, the quality control, they make this kind of test the whole day, every year. Another application in metallography, we have here cast iron, spheroidal graphite, okay, and cast iron. And then we know that the nodules, the more the nodules are spherical, the best is the cast iron, okay? So the microstructure we can have a correlation between the microstructure to the macro behavior of the metal, okay? So if you have the majority of the graphite nodules more spheroidal, more spheric, then you have good properties like tension resistance and compression resistance, for example. Okay, even hardness can be better if you have good spherical graphite nodules. So computer vision can be used to analyze microstructure, micro photographies of the metal, cast iron, to determine in a quality control sector to see if this cast iron is a good one or not so good, only by image. Another application, you can see here a system to recognize plate numbers in vehicles, in automobiles. So you take the photo, okay, you have a camera here, and then you take photos of the cars. In Brazil, this is very popular, okay? Then you can perceive here the plate, and then you segmentate the plate here, only the cut the segmentate, this is made automatically. And then you have here a preprocessor to strike the noise, and then you segmentate the plate, but then you segmentate all the parts of the segmentate, the letters and the numbers. And then you use a neural network, we use the MLP, a multi-layer perceptor, to identify each of these characters, okay, that was. And then all the cars is passing along the street, and then it takes automatically the OCR. Okay, we can organize the plates. We can also use it to recognize algorithm numbers, okay, in power meters, old ones, okay, and then you can use a camera, video acquisition board, a part of PC, the software of PC, to get the image. And then you can cut, because they have fixed position, okay, you can cut all the algorithms, and then you use image segmentation to get the algorithm here. For example, this is the 4 number here. And then after that, you have a subsample of the algorithm, and then recognition by neural networks again, okay? This is an application of to use a tablet, okay, or a smartphone to get a photo of a text in a paper, printed in a paper, on a paper, and then you can take this photo, recognize the letters, and then to send it here to a tactile display, okay, for blind people, okay. Then these persons can, these people can read the printed paper, okay, the message that is there, the text that is there, by the Braille, we call Braille in Brazil, the Braille text, okay, the tactile algorithm. A traditional application of computer vision is facial recognition, okay. Facial recognition, we use it here a database, a face database, and use it self-organizing map as a topology of neural networks to train the neural network, and also to recognize the individuals. Okay, this one it was used a special manner to extract the feature. Remember the block feature extraction? Okay, that it was to use BLP. Okay, BLP always. Another application, fingerprint recognition. Fingerprint recognition is very interesting because each person has a different fingerprint on the fingers or fingerprint. Okay, so we have here what we call minutiae. That is some lines of that they end suddenly. This is the termination. Okay, and also sometimes they suddenly divide the line in two. Okay, so we have a bifurcation here. So this point, the termination, the bifurcation, and also this nodule here. Okay, these are minutiae. These are special points that we localize on the fingerprint, and then we make a relation between them, and then we can use to recognize if that person is really what the name she is saying, or we can find who that person is. Okay, in this work we studied pre-processing algorithm in fingerprint recognition systems. Okay, another interesting application is 3D vision. For example, 3D vision, we use a stereo system to capture the image that we use two cameras. Okay, and then we can match the two views, the left one, the right one, and then we can calculate the 3D coordinate of these obstacles here. Okay, we can have X, Y, and Z coordinates. Okay, so we can measure distance. We can measure how distant the camera is to an object. So this is very used in mobile robot machine vision system. Okay, then we used this 3D system in a robot, underwater robot that we developed. Then this robot was used to detect cracks in dams. Okay, so it can also see cracks or dirty on boats too. Okay, but this underwater robot, it was developed to make the inspection in dams used in hydroelectric power plants. Okay. Another computer vision application is mosaic generation. This is one application that in all smart cell, smartphone, we can have one manner to make beautiful.
Affiliation.
Sorry. Yeah, in all smartphones, we can get this kind of mosaic generation to take beautiful photos. Okay, but the main application at this moment, besides this one, is to use in mobile robots localization and navigation. Okay, especially in Islam algorithm, that is simulation and localization map algorithm. Okay, so another computer vision example of application is a localization and navigation of robots using omnidirectional images. Are images like this one, okay, where you can have a 360-degree image. Or you can see the robots, in fact, can see all around and detect obstacles, can detect objects of interest, and in other situations. Okay, so using this image, the robot use this was the image, the capture one, okay, the capture image, and then the robot can stretch the picture, okay, and classify in which room it is, okay, and then localize to make to know its location, where he is, and also to navigate to look for its destiny. Okay, so a mobile robot is worried about or in original place in a destiny place, in the path between these two places. Okay, so in this case we use the topological map for localization, to make localization, and also to make the navigation of the robot. Another good application is to recognize the position of power supply switch. Okay, so we have in all cities, especially big stations, okay, power stations, where you have these giant switches, okay, that turns on and turns off regions, states, cities, countries, during to make maintenance, or even to maintain the system up. Okay, so we can use a computer vision. In fact, the system was developed to detect the position of the switch, because if one of these phases is not on and all the others are, we can have big problems. Okay, even explosions or something like that. Okay, so it's something very, very, very bad. So besides when you turn on the switch, you have to make a final movement. It has to make a fine movement, a slight one. And then if this that occurs, this not happens, in fact, the switch is not on. So you have to take care, and sometimes we observe it very bad, and then a computer vision sometimes is useful. This is part of the system. It was used in the machine learning block. It was used a self-organizing map to make the recognition. Another application is to use, for example, the Kinect. That is a camera used in a video game, Kinect of Microsoft. This is a very interesting capture image device. Okay, image and sound. It has an infrared camera. It has a normal camera too, a visible light camera, and it has a library to make to detect gestures. Then it is very useful to use as human machine interface. It can control robots or other application, but it is very useful, for example, in a surgery room. Okay, because it's good that the physician do not touch in anything to avoid infection. Okay, so it is a good manner to make human machine interface. Well, this was an autonomous mobile, a didactic one for teaching, and so we put a computer to make auto process, and this computer follow a black tape, okay, a path on the floor, and used fuzzy logic to control it. A good idea is to use Petri nets as a map to localize and to navigate mobile robots. So we can see by these slides, okay, that mobile robots is very important to use computer vision systems. Okay, it's a very good application, computer vision system. So this is the example, okay, of a map created by Petri nets. Then it is the path that the robots join using this map. Okay, so we can. That's the idea. Well, we're gonna talk about some biomedical engineer application, some medical image digital processing, and one of them is computer tomography of lungs. Okay, segmentation. So we can segmentate. We have a computer tomography is we put a person into the tomograph, and then it takes images slice by slice of the person. Okay, so we can see here the lungs. Okay, and then we can automatically segmentate the lungs, and also nodules, blood vessels, and airways. Okay, that's it. So the application here is to detect cancer, for example, okay, and obstructive, pulmonary obstructive chronic disease, the POC. Well, Tariq, Professor Tariq, he used this, created this a software here to draw the airways of the from CT of lungs images. Okay, so you have here the image, okay, and he got here where is the air because of the light intensity here is different from the other parts. Okay, and then he tried to segmentate the airways. It is hard to do because these are just a few pixels, small part of the lung. Okay, so but from slice by slice you can draw, you can design all the airway tree. Okay, and then the doctor can, the physician can perceive if there is any problem in the lung of the patient. We can do the same with blood vessel. Okay, and these algorithms are very important during the pandemic situation we have now from COVID-19. About the segmentation of lobes, it is wrong here, segmentation of lobes. We can also use CT image, computer tomography image of the lobes, and segmentate image of the lungs, okay, and segmentate the lobes to make surgery planning. Surgery planning, because part of the lung can be with problem of cancer, the POC, fibrosis, and then we can cut, make a surgery to take only the part that is not okay.
3 more minutes, Professor.
Another application is to analyze images of echocardiography. The main part of the heart, human heart, is the left ventricle. Okay, this is the part of the heart, the chamber, okay, the atria, the ventricle that's push the blood to all the body. It's the main part. Okay, and then this is a part of very interest of the doctors. Okay, the cardiac ones, cardiologists, and then to segmentate the volume of the left ventricle is something very important. And you compare the volume during systole and diastole. and when it is full of blood and empty. And then you have a ratio that is fraction, okay? And this very important to to see surgeries. This
3 more
is
minutes, Professor.
tracking the sorry, pardon.
3 more minutes.
Okay, I'm finished now.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
there's this tracking ventricle, okay, to track a ventricle. These are its OCT image process is ophthalmology, and then this is the macular hole, and then you can get by the OCT image the characteristics of the macular hole for surgery planning too. Okay, we can have also images for together with computer graphics to simulate surgeries. Okay, in this case we are simulate an exam. Okay, it's a kind of exam to make the surgery afterwards. And then you can have here an application, a gamification one, a game, in fact, a game to teach anatomy. Okay, and this is very important to like a form of education to health professionals. Yeah, you have physical educators, have physiotherapy, medicine, nursery, and others. Okay. Conclusion. When I was at graduation, studying engineering, okay, 20 years, 30 years ago, okay, these things were only research or only science fiction, okay? But today, these things are important because we have jobs, okay, for this. For example, my students in Fortaleza, in Ceará, many of them, they have jobs from this start from computer vision systems. Okay, so companies pay them to construct computer vision system. So this is something very important together with artificial intelligence, together with robotics and other automation, industrial automation use and other application. So I would like to say thank you to you all. Thank you very much. It is a honor and a pleasure to be with you. Thank you very much. Sorry for the problems with the presentation.
Thank you so much, Professor. Yes, it's really interesting and integrating talk. We can conclude that computer vision is actually the image, and then we have the process to the segmentation, and then the future extract to the identification. And we know that we can use the computer vision to the areas of biology until the crime, for example, like the fingerprint and facial expression. And we actually have a lot of questions here in the chat room. I'm going to go with the first questions. The first question is how to apply computer vision for the commercials.
Audio is not good for me. Okay, I can listen to but I can read on the chat. Okay. Could you please type the question on chat, please?
Okay, just a second.
While I can answer another question, Mr. Hapsari Penny made a very interesting question here, okay? And I'd like to answer. How to apply computer vision to commercials? Commercials to, well, for example, we have Amazon developed a system where the person enter to a store and take everything, and computer vision systems see what the person took, and then prepare the bill directly to the credit card of the person. Okay, this is one actual application for computer vision. Okay, this is one of the examples, and we can use it also to many other situations. Okay, another situation, for example, people want to prove glasses before to buy, or clothes before to buy. Okay, so we can the computer vision system can take a picture of the person body and take the dimensions and help to choose the cloth or even the glasses, and then make suggestions. Okay, so this is another example of computer vision. I wonder whether this computer vision is used to police department to
Yes.
investigation. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
good comment.
actually copy paste some of the questions in the chat room. Whether you can read it or not now.
Yes,
Okay.
I cannot hear very well, but may I answer the question of Mr. Hapsari? Mr. Hapsari, he made a very interesting question. Okay, uh, he asked here, what is the biggest constraint of use deep learning on image classification? Can we classify the image without segmentation? Yes, we can classify the image without segmentation using a deep learning algorithm. Okay, but in fact, the deep learning algorithm, it makes all these blocks together. It makes the pre-processing, it makes the segmentation, the feature extraction, and also the classification all together in only one block. That's what they make. Okay, in fact, the segmentation still happens inside the deep learning algorithm. Okay, so it's true and not true at the same time. I wonder what the CV, computer vision, is used in police department. Yeah, that's it. Well, computer vision system, yeah, face recognition systems is the more traditional application of computer vision systems. Yeah, in fact, the policemen make this manually by using WhatsApp or another uh, message application. Okay, but it can be made by computer vision systems to recognize the face of person, even in a crowd. Okay, even a crowded place, in a soccer stadium, so the face can be, and this can help the police department. Yes, we can classify the image without segmentation because if you use a deep learning algorithm. Okay, deep learning is a kind of algorithm of machine learning or artificial intelligence. Okay, and in fact, it makes all those blocks that we saw here, that we studied here, at the same time. It makes pre-processing, it makes segmentation, feature extraction, and recognition in only one block, and in one block. But in fact, we have segmentation inside there. Uh, it depends. It depends, okay? But even simple computers, they can run computer vision algorithms, okay, computer vision system. How can you prove that, Jose? Yeah, the smartphones, okay, they have computer vision system here. For example, if you take, there are some camera in smartphones that when you smile, it takes the picture, okay? So this is a computer vision system, okay? So if even smartphones can run computer vision systems, a PC, a personal computer, okay, even a simple one can. But the time of processing maybe is not that good. But if you use deep learn algorithms, okay, so it takes more and more time to have the answers, okay. So they are still very slow, okay. So that's the importance. This is the importance of to. This is the reason, okay. This is of to the necessity of to study the traditional algorithms, okay, because some applications it is more interesting to use the traditional ones because they are faster, okay. So the computer system, they are always uh, constructed to that application. If you have application in OCR and biomedical application, in commercial application, the system is always different. Okay, if you change the application, the system, the algorithm you choose are always different. So we have to study all the algorithms. The person who studies computer vision, he or she has to study the old algorithms, the traditional ones, and also the new ones. Okay, learn ones. That's it.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor. I have no more questions in the chat box, but I would like to invite for the participants, if you still have some questions, you may ask directly to Professor Alexandria. We still have 2 more minutes. Yes, anyone? Oh, okay. We have one more professor in the chat room. If we use the established network for classifications such as FGG16, ResNet, or AlexNet, the impact is the high time consumed. It's against with green computing. What is the solution about this?
Yes, it's a good question. Thank you very much. Uh, I think we should use faster algorithms and use these new algorithms only if they are really necessary. Okay, if they are really necessary, because sometimes you want to use only the newest algorithms, the deep learning ones, the ResNet, AlexNet, this one you enumerated, okay? But there are maybe some simple ones that can solve the problem, okay? And for green computer, I think the solution is to get renewable energy, okay, to supply the computers. I think this is one best solution to do. Okay.
Okay, I hope it is clear enough. I'm going to open one more questions before we're going to end this first keynote speaker and then move to the next, the second keynote speaker. Do I still have, okay, okay, this is gonna be the last questions. Okay, thank you for a very interesting presentation. Some of the challenges for image processing are the images obtained with various intensities, especially on an image that doesn't have homogeneous lighting. For example, in the application of license plate recognition, is there a strategy to process images? For example, data is taken in the morning, afternoon, or evening. because we know that the data or images obtained must have different characteristics.
If you use a database, okay, if you use a database on internet, you get on internet, you do not have much to do. You have to apply algorithms to pre-process the image and let it the more stable as possible to better the image to the segmentation process. Okay, so the pre-process you have to construct it, the pre-process block to avoid the problems with the illumination. Okay, but if you are working with real problems, okay, you take a camera on the street and you take photos. The important is that you have to control the hardware of the camera. Okay, so you have to communicate. You must communicate with the camera and control zoom, focus, aperture. Okay, the shutter, all the physical parameters of the camera to let the more uniform the illumination parameters, the illumination characteristic of the image. Okay, so if you do not do that, this will be problem. You can use the database libraries to check your softwares, okay, to check your pre-processing, your segmentation. You let it the best you can. But in real life, in one day you have to put your system on the street, so you have to take care about the camera parameters and the acquisition. But this is not only for OCR systems. This is to everything, every computer vision system. You have to take care about the image acquisition, okay, illumination, and the camera, the physical parameters, hardware parameters, and also software. And because this is a line, if the image is not good in the beginning, right from the beginning, then you have problems all over the system, even if you use deep learning.
All right, I hope it has answered your questions. Okay. Thank you so much, Professor. It is really interesting how the computer vision can apply to the map, topology, biology, and etc. I really hope that this artificial intelligence in the future coming will be increased and we can use in our daily life. Thank you so much, Professor Alexandria, for being with us today. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
Let us
Thank you
give
very
a
much.
big applause for Professor Auxilia de Alexandria. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So at this point, we are going to move to our next second presenter or our second keynote speakers. Before we start the presentation, I would like to read a short biography of our Professor Koh Kontek. So Professor Koh Kontek, his research interest is in basketball, coach education and development, evaluation of coaches' work, information communication and technologies, pedagogy, values and character development. Professor Kontek also has involved in coach education programs. He lectures the theory and technical courses in the National Coaching Accreditation Program. Professor Kontek is currently holding a few key appointments at the international and local levels, such as Executive Board Member, World Association of Basketball Coaches, Council of PE and Sport, Executive Board members, Asia Association of Coaching Science, President of Singapore Physical Education Association, the Steering Committee member, East Zone Center of Excellence, and he is also the editorial board member for the International Sport Coaching Center. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Professor Koh Kontek. I hope I don't miss the pronunciation. Time is yours, Professor.
Thanks,
Thank you.
MC, for the introduction, and very good morning to everyone. First, I want to thank the organizing committee of this third international conference on research and academic committee services for giving me this opportunity to come and talk to you this morning. I'm very sure this conference will be a very successful one, and I wish you all the best. So let me just share my screen with you now. Hopefully you all can see it. So just to check your MC, you can see my screen? Yes?
It's still black.
Is it coming now?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay, so this will be my topics, for this morning talk. The teaching strategy during pandemic recovery phase. This is indeed a very hot topic. I have given this talk for many, in many countries, Malaysia, Thailand, and Philippines. So as we start learning this, or trying to live with this pandemic, I hope today's presentation, just to give you some ideas how we can actually move this piece forward. So here is the outline of my presentation. First is really revisit, looking at the impact of COVID-19 on physical education and sports, and recall some of the practices and PE and sports during COVID-19. And I would like to propose, based on my some of the work I'm doing and learning from other countries, I would like to propose how we can then move from the pandemic to endemic. Okay, some of the practices for consideration, and we'll end up with the summary. So as everybody know, COVID-19 started more than a year ago. It actually impacted, many ways, in our daily life, the way we live, the way we work, the way we teach and learn. So specifically for us, we're involved in PE and sports. This is just one of the many studies. Okay, just want to share with you the COVID-19 pandemic. Because of the lockdown, okay, actually resulted many negative, influence or factors that actually influencing us. For example, lack of physical activity. Why? Because people have problem accessing the equipment, facility, resources. They are not be able to continue their physical activity. Even they allow so is restricted, actually affect their enjoyment, motivation. But more importantly, because of the lockdown, lack of physical activity actually lead to obesity problem, health-related issues. Okay, actually speed up the whole problem. And even until now, more than a year ago, it actually caused a lot of mental health issues. For example, very stressful to teacher, to student, because the way we have learned, when we're learning has actually changed. So specifically looking at teaching and coaching, okay, which we all involved with as a teacher or student, there's this time constraint, okay, because because certain period you actually lock down, you cannot go back to school. Even when you're allowed to go back, the face-to-face time is limited. So the struggle is about how much to cover, how much will be tested, and whether the student, are actually ready, when even we get them to go back to school for PE lesson or going back to training for elite training. The space, definitely, because of this, restriction, government restriction, you want to, have to maintain certain distance. So the group size actually will be actually imposed. Because of a good restriction or group size, then the way we structure the lesson, the way students learn, definitely it will be actually impacted. And of course, during this COVID-19, we were forced to be innovative. Okay, so besides face-to-face, I think initially all of us went online, home-based learning. Many teachers, students struggle. Student hated home-based because the learning is not authentic. They have a lot of homework because every subject the teacher actually asks them to submit, homework. So there's a whole lot of problems, during this period. So in Singapore, I'm very sure it's nothing different from elsewhere in the world. We actually are in these 3 phases. 1 year ago, we have this full lockdown, and every now and then, if you follow the news, depending on how serious this COVID situation is, some countries are going back to lockdown. But in Singapore, we are actually progressing between phase 2 and phase 3. So basically, there will be some flexibility for us to go back to face to face, but there's this restriction in terms of the venues capacity, as well as how big the group and the distancing between the learner and the usage of equipment. So 2 weeks ago, we were actually in phase 3. Okay, a bigger group size. We can have more, a bigger group for teaching and learning. But now we are back to phase 2 because the cases actually went up. So as a teacher or a student, I think we are slowly get used to this because we plan for it. Whenever there's a restriction tightening of this measure, all of us actually prepare for that, which I'm going to share with you later. So this is just one of the example. Okay, in Singapore, our magic numbers are 258. That's the group size. So in the extreme case whereby the government say activity can carry on, but there's a limited group size. That means maximum 2 person a group. So you can imagine if you are teaching a class of 40 in our lesson, if we are going to organize in 2, it's very different where we actually allow a more flexibility of group of 8. So as I mentioned 2 weeks ago, I was actually allowed to carry out activity in group of 5. And then 2 weeks later, I actually had to transit to a group of 2. Of course, I can easily go back to virtual, but I'm very sure that, if we're just going back to virtual, then that we also need to take care of the student feeling and the learning experience. So very quick recap of these practices in COVID-19. As I say right now, most of the country, I think we're all adjusting quite well. For example, the group size, the physical space restriction, depending on your government's safety guidelines. Okay, so I think as a teacher or as a coach, we just need to plan that in mind. Okay, and there's all these good practices. You need to sanitize the equipment after use, and if you are not during lesson, the face must be on. Smaller group size, and of course there's no intermingle during lesson. So these are all the measures that we actually put in place in Singapore, including NTU. So as we also know, during pandemic, where this online teaching and learning is heavily used, we also understand that from some of the countries, including Indonesia, Philippines, some of the rural area, students don't have access to internet. They are struggle. One phone has to be shared by so many people. These are all issues, okay? But I think for us to move forward, we need to really think about, okay, how we can actually give targeted, help. For example, those household whereby you have more kids and there's only limited technology, okay, that can support the teaching and learning. This is the way we have to go forward, depending on the support from the government or the university. So use of technology is very clear during this phase. And if you look at the literature, it's really nothing new in the field of PE and sports. People have been talking about it more than a decade ago. That if you are using the digital technology, appropriately, there are benefits. That actually includes, developing this global awareness of the learner, promote critical thinking, and there's a lot of communication, collaboration between learners. But sad to say, I think before COVID hit us, many of us are involved in PE and sports. We are not actually thinking hard how to use this digital technology. So early on, the speaker talked about the AI. I think yes, AI is a big thing, but I think at the AI, we only use at a high performance level, before COVID. But now, because of this situation, I think the advancement of using digital technology has advanced quickly, including PE and and teaching PE and sports. So I think I really want everyone to think hard that how we can better utilize this digital technology when appropriate. So we don't use it for the sake of using, but we use it to support our pedagogy and our teaching. So again, these are all the different mode of teaching, which there's nothing new to us. But I think the question is how effective are we using it to engage learner? As I mentioned to you, based on my interaction with many people in Asia, around the world, a lot of student athletes, they hated this online home base because the way we go about teaching it is not effective, and the learner, they don't see the need of this kind of learning. All of them are just hoping that things become better and everybody can go back to face-to-face teaching and learning, which is a very dangerous move because no one will guarantee another kind of virus will come or disease will come similar or even more challenging than the current COVID-19. So what are we going to do if the next wave is going to come? So I think the way to move forward is really to think hard how we can better prepare ourselves, how can we then better change the student and the athlete's attitude in this kind of environment. So we know during COVID, teachers become very proficient. Okay, they are very creative. They try many ways using technology, create resources, and lesson preparation. They are trying to make different kind of way of preparing the lesson depending on what kind of support you have in the country. And they are always in Singapore. We have this learning space, okay, where everybody, including the teacher and student, can put their resources on this platform. And this platform is actually supported by the Ministry of Education. I'm very sure in the other country may not have this kind of luxury to have this system. But I think we need to think about how we can continue using this kind of platform. May not be that established, as simple as WhatsApp. Anything that we can still connect with the student. In terms of letting them to access some of the material so that the teaching and learning can still continue. So as I mentioned, all of us have been using online, face-to-face, home-based. But the question is how effective this kind of teaching and learning in your country. I think it's good for you to go and find out from your student, and then you can then plan and adopt it, accordingly. So I just want to share this evidence, okay, from some of the literature. If you want to use the digital technology, there are 5 important elements you need to take into consideration. So, for example, if I want to use home-based learning, okay, the participant has to be very active, engaged in the lesson. So if you just use online, I upload all the material, ask students to read on their own. You prescribe assessment, ask them to do, expect them to submit. That kind of learning is very, very minimal. The impact is low. Unless you set a quiz or assignment to test them, other than that, I don't think students will be bothered to go and read and learn. Then during this, online learning, we also need to make sure aside, instead of, beside getting them to be involved actively, we also need to give a lot of constructive feedback, make sure the learning is authentic. Okay, so for example, in your PE syllabus or your lesson or your course outline is about soccer. It's nothing about physical conditioning. And because of this lockdown, you say, okay, let's follow the video clip and just run fitness conditioning. You run some circuit training. That kind of activity, yes, the students are all very engaged, but it's not authentic because it's nothing connected to the course outline, which I think during the initial phase of the COVID, many of us, or many of the PE teacher coaches they are doing. When you check the activity they are doing and what they're supposed to teach is disconnected. So we try to avoid these things, okay? Intentional, yes, you will plan it within your lesson, and you need to promote a lot of collaborative learning. So if I'm using online, every time teacher-centered, I show you all the move, you just follow, doing the kind of activity. This kind of teaching, in terms of using the ICT or digital technology to teach, is not effective. So that could be one of these, which I'm going to show some example to you early on. Beside teacher, let student follow, you need to have some lot of collaborative learning, whether it's a pair work, or group discussion in using ICT in teaching and learning. Which, as I mentioned, I will share with you some of the practices, how to go about doing. So the next segment, I just want to share with you some of the practices, okay, as we transit from pandemic to endemic. So as you know, pandemic, when we started a year ago, okay, everywhere around the world, US, Europe, UK, Asia, and Southeast Asia, all schools, university, they locked down because they are trying to slow down the spread of this disease, okay? But now, after 1 year or so, okay, more than a year, everyone start to think about how can we live with COVID-19, because you cannot be forever locking down. The economy is not working, is not doing well. The kids, the student, teacher are very stressful. So it's really about trying to find a way to, to live with COVID, including, Indonesia. I think this one was about 2 days ago in a Singapore, press. So how to go about doing it? I think first thing, we need to reframe our mental model. Through my conversation with many people, okay, the PE teacher and some of the lecturer in university, everyone hoping that things will go back to normal so that PE and sports can go back to face-to-face. This is a very, very dangerous move. Because as I mentioned early on, nobody can guarantee in future as we move forward, you may be have another kind of, virus coming in, and, you maybe have to lock down again. So we better prepare now, get ourselves, start thinking about how we can do this thing in a very structured, intentional manner, which I'm going to propose some of the solution to you. So the way we go about planning, the way about teaching, the way we go about evaluating in PE and sports has to change from now, okay, in order for us to live with the pandemic. So first thing is about planning, okay, going back to whether you're teaching your PE or you're coaching, okay, review what is the outcome of your curriculum, okay, and then you determine what kind of skill concept can be taught using different modes, whether it's a home-based, online, or face-to-face, which we are quite familiar with now. And then you plan how you deliver the 3 domains. Obviously, now with this, okay, the way we go about teaching is not just focusing on psychomotor, because that is the mode of teaching in the past. But now, if you want to better use of digital technology, you need to think about how can I better engage the learner in cognitive affective domain, okay? And also think about what kind of skill and concept can be accessed, because it doesn't make sense I teach this way, but the way I assess is still like in the past, it doesn't make sense, okay? And it's also not fair to the learner. So this is just one of the samples that, I use for my basketball, but I'm very sure it can easily be, translated to other kind of sports and games. So in my 13 weeks of lesson, I intentionally put in all the different kind of teaching methods. Okay, so in the past it's all face-to-face, but now you can see I put some flip inside. I put in some home-based learning in it, so that the learner start to experience, okay, this is how the PE teach. This is part of the PE and sports learning, environment, and and by doing so, we also try to achieve, early on those benefits by using digital technology. So I mentioned about the evaluation. The way we, evaluate also has to be in your plan. So in my plan, I can plan, okay, if everything goes on smoothly, okay, face-to-face, I can do this plan A. I can assess them the written test, individual skill, team play in a physical manner, okay? But in a case whereby there's a full lockdown, I can still be able to assess them, and they know this is how I'm going to assess them. Okay, written test online, okay, individual skill, get them to record, send to you, you view the skill, and then you assess them. Now, the team play become quite challenging, especially those team sports. Again, if we cannot see them in big group performing the skill, then I need to then look at the game clip and ask them to analyze certain things or concept depending your sports. So they can still be assessed, but instead of physical play, it is actually come in different form. Maybe I assess them in the cognitive aspect, in this situation. So where I'm coming from is I think the assessment has to be planned way ahead intentionally, and this is, will be communicated to the learner right from the beginning. So I want to spend the rest of time here focus on teaching because I think that's the key component. So we know that during COVID, because of the time constraint, the psychomotor suffers the most because you don't have, instead of all face-to-face now, you only have limited time, and you also need to think about how you can better engage them in other ways. So we need to really make use of the face-to-face time properly, efficiently, okay, by trying to see what else can we actually enhance based on our current practice. So the proportion time allocation for the 3 domains, okay, for example, in the past, 100% psychomotor, now I probably have to lower it down so that I can give the time to other domains development because of the limited time. If you say now I can go back to face-to-face, yet I want to challenge you, okay, yeah, now it's good time, you go 100% face-to-face. So one day, the government going to lock down again, what are you going to do? Okay, you're not prepared, the student are not prepared, that is going to be a big problem again, okay? So, but when you start trying to portion them intentionally, and that is part of the teaching and learning, then I think will be more efficient the way we move forward. So teaching, okay, this is again different kind of mode. We all very familiar with it. As I mentioned, online right now is the least impactful, okay, unless you put some assignment quizzes to them. I try to use the first, column here as little as possible, okay. I want to probably try the HPL, home-based learning, and face-to-face. So HPL, later I'll show an example. Basically, you can engage them psychomotor. You can also engage them in a cognitive and affective domain. Okay, so for example here, psychomotor, I can just show them, I think they're all very good. Okay, show them the move, get them to do, ask them to switch on the camera, you give feedback. Okay, that's very straightforward. I can also then, after that, ask them to video down their move, okay, get into the breakout room, and then they can discuss video, the movement, each one give some feedback. So in a sense, they have this cooperative learning, they are active in discussion instead of psychomotor, they are actually involving in the cognitive aspect. Okay, so at the end of the day, I can ask them to present some of the things. So there's a lot of involvement, okay, in home-based learning, rather than students sitting down there listening to you, okay, that is not effective at all. So even for face-to-face right now, okay, in the past, we all go to wait for students come to you, okay, I download information every time, everything to you. Now, if you are able to advance the information to them earlier, when they come to you, the face-to-face, you can actually cover more, and they can learn more. So in a way, you actually fast-track the learning forward, and then that will actually allow you to portion more time to do other topics, which impose, because of this COVID restriction, your time lesser, okay? But because of this, advancement of material, get them to read, come in, so you can, they can learn quicker, and then you can have additional time, to let them or allow them to learn other things. So that's how we can balance this, shortage of time to support the teaching and learning. So for information in NTU right now, we have this mandate, okay? At least 30% of the course must use digital technology. So it's not a choice. Everybody must plan this in your lesson plan. How you're going to deliver is up to individual teacher. So I just want to share with you some of the clips, okay, so that you can follow what I'm talking about. So home base, okay, how to keep the learner active. So let me just go back, sorry. Just to check, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, we can see.
We can see
the screen. Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, I'm going to play video. Okay, make sure you can see and hear.
Yes.
Can you see it? Can you see the videos?
Yes, we can see the video.
Not showing the ball because I'm going to give you a triple check. Now, how do I work on my front end? I use my left leg as my.
So this is a context, home base. Everybody stay at home. The teacher, show, some of the move. After that, I just want to focus on how we can keep the participant in active learning.
So what I can do is I move from here to here, then I move again, I move here, slowly, and I move. It's a basic drill for front pivot.
So after the demonstration, okay, the teacher then have to supervise and ask some questions, get them to do, and then give some feedback.
One of the things that are important when you do a pivot,
one foot is planted and you do not change that foot.
Yeah, so that's what we call the pivot leg. Then what else?
Must choose your pivot foot.
Yeah. What else?
Must choose your pivot foot.
Yep. Okay.
So basically, this part is a demonstration of cognitive engagement. Okay. First part, probably you didn't see they are doing all the psychomotor. So the teacher show everybody do. Okay. After that, this is the second segment. Okay. The teacher show, but instead of doing psychomotor, now you're getting them to engage the cognitive aspect. So what are the things you need to pay attention to, so on and so forth. But the students are all actively involved. So I want to share with you one of the things that I conducted personally. Just now the teacher, I actually mentor him last year. When we are in this first phase of COVID, then we try to find ways to go about doing it properly. So I want to share with you. Okay, shooting. This is again a home base. Okay, so firstly, this is the whole activity for that lesson. Watch some videos, okay, and then get them to talk about it, practice first, and then record, go into the group discussion, and these are all the domains that we're actually trying to engage throughout the whole lesson. And there's a progression, okay, and there's different kind of activity, getting them to learn, okay, record, analyze, peers, trying to help each other, and there are some part that are actually individual performance. And then they're actually going back. So this is just one of the samples that we're actually trying to show them the shooting. So this is first part is get them to appreciate.
Leonard's first points of the game. 4-point game, and here is Curry who hits. Curry defended now by Parker and Leonard's first point.
So basically, the first clip is we don't go into direct teaching. We say, okay, we're going to learn shooting, and typically this skill will be used under this kind of situation. So give them to have some understanding of when the skill will be used. And then we show them, okay, now we want to go into playing the specific technique, okay, how this thing can be performed, in a more systematic manner. So the student get a chance to see, okay, how the movement of this technique should be executed. So again, there wasn't any direct teaching yet. Okay, it's just when this skill will be used and how this skill will be executed in a very slow moment. And then we go into okay, how you should pay attention to the specific of the technique. Okay. So here is the proper teaching, after all the two videos. And you can see here, they are all the teaching cues, okay, how the movement should be performed. Okay, so the feet apart, all these are related to the shooting skill technique. Okay, so they will be shown of this video. Pay attention to this, all these skills. So after they have viewed this, okay, then they will actually practice on their own at home or anywhere. Okay, so I just want to share with you again the equipment. Okay, home base, I think one of the problems that we've encountered, the kids do not have the proper equipment at home. So indeed, okay, we don't need the proper equipment because that's how, depending on what they have, right? But they need to be creative. So here, I think my office, I just wrapped, the newspaper, okay, aside to a size of basketball, instead of using the tennis ball. And the reason is very simple. The home base is they are supposed to get the technique right. so that there's easier for them to transfer the form later on when they come to face-to-face. If you use the techniques just, as a learn how to shoot, the way they hold the ball is very different, okay, when I give them the actual ball. Then there's again another factor of, adjustment, which is going to be quite problematic. So I think what I offer here is that when you ask the kids to do home-based learning, you need to help them to see what are the equipment they can modify. Of course, if they have basketball, there's the best. If they do not have, they are still able to kind of, learn. But I think the form or the equipment modified has to be as close to the actual equipment you're going to use, as much as possible. And then the target, okay, here I just draw the target in my office. I just paste it. We're using an A4 paper, and this is target for them to, aim and hit the newspaper. Okay, so everything in the center, 2 points, on the line 1, and outside the line is 0. So it's really up to you to go and create, because when I start creating point system, because they don't have a ring at home, right? But they're learning shooting. Shooting involves scoring. Okay, so I need to get something that they can do at home, find something they can, they can use it at home, and yet there's, some excitement in the teaching and learning. So I want to move on to another technique called, flip learning. Again, it's nothing new. Okay, you can just, again, front load the information. We know about this, give them the information before, whether it's a video, instruction, so that they can spend time reading it. After that, when they come to the class, okay, you can go straight into the action. You don't need to go into instruction, teaching. So they actually save a lot of time for them to actually go into the activity learning itself. And because you fast straightforward, okay, so in the past, I may spend 2 hours teaching shooting, but when you flip, okay, I probably can use an hour or so, right? So I can actually save another 50% to cover other things, other skills, okay, just because of this shortage of time. And then after lesson, you can select, you can set quizzes or discussion for up to you. So as I mentioned, the flip is nothing new. Here is just one of the paper published. Okay, if you're interested, you can download and read it. And to understand the specific. But here I just want to share with you in terms of the learning. Okay, for the flip to be effective, okay, the material, the pre-lesson reading material has to be very concise, specific. So you got to imagine, if you are the student, you're going to read my material, I only need you to spend 10 to 15 minutes to understand what lesson you're going to get. Okay, I think in the past, a lot of us, just download information and then, too much. In the end, people don't. Okay. And this is just 3 slides, okay, for my lesson. I tell them pre-lesson, I give them 2 video link, they go and video, then they can watch it, and then they are very clear during lesson what is the grouping like, what are the rules when they are doing each activity, and every activity there are some specific goal for them to achieve. Okay, they actually follow this whole flow. So this is just one of the video that they're going to watch, okay, before lesson. First activity. So again, all the instructions are all embedded in the videos, and they can see how the activity will be conducted and what kind of specific instruction they need to pay attention to. So if they cannot catch it, okay, they can always rewind, play, okay, and have some idea. So this is instruction clip, okay. Then I go on to some of the benefit, okay. So they are basically just now the example, the lesson I have 3 PowerPoint slides, which you actually saw, and then I have 2 or 3 clips. Every clip is less than a minute. So you don't need to go and hire a whole professional, video, editorial team or whatever. I mean, right now, handphone easier. You can just, take it and then you can just insert the text. Very easy to do. Okay, but the key is trying to produce a very short instruction to tell the kids this is what you're going to get, so that they know when they come to the class, they can get on to the activity, and then you can just go into a very targeted teaching, supervision, and give every group different kind of feedback. And these are benefits taken from the literature. Okay, you can see whole list. Okay, whether you're talking about self-directed, yes, Maximum participation, yes, because they're all coming to a class, less instruction, they're all moving because there are all these clear tasks, requirements for them to follow. Inclusive, yes, everybody is actually progressing at one time. The faster one, they can move on to the task 2, task 3. So you don't need to slow down the rest. And as a teacher, I can pay more attention to those, slow learner, who actually require more attention. And there's a lot of collaboration, collaborative, interaction, because the better one will help to guide those, not so good one. They actually promote, critical thinking.
2 more minutes.
So the last, sorry, yeah. So I just want to share with you some of the things that we're actually doing here. Okay, so now because of these endemic things, before lesson we need to do a scan, everyone, and then before lesson we need to take a photo where the grouping and how they are actually seated. The reason very simple. Okay, in case any COVID cases, we can do the tracking quickly, to make sure everybody is safe. And in terms of the activity right now, from here you can see, okay, as I mentioned to you, in the past 5, okay, I can get more people to do group work, but here I can only do individual group as a start. But I need to make sure the space is all covered and they are all in a very safe, distant manner, because there's a requirement. So let's go on to modification. I supposed to teach pick and roll 4-person, but because right now the restriction, I need to scale it down to 2 That means 2-person per group. But the concept can still be taught. Okay, now I'm using the phone. They are doing just in pair without the defender, so on and so forth. So after lesson, everybody have to standardize the equipment. Okay, that's the standard procedure. So all these required time, it has to go into the routine, and as part of the planning. So a quick summary, I think, COVID is here to stay, okay, and then I think we need to, live with it. So we need to plan for long term, okay, and the blended approach is the way to go, okay. We need to have enough resources to support the teaching and learning, and the resources need not to be professionally produced, as I shared with you, okay. Have more time and space to try different kind of, method. But I think the key is really to change the PE teacher and the student athletes, coaches' attitude in how digital technologies should be part of the teaching and learning. And this evidence also came from our 2 study. Okay, again, if you are free, can go and take a look. If we don't change our attitude mentality, okay, then the student learner will not change. Okay, so that's the point. Invest time to build those teaching resources, so we can go, build with the colleagues and share ideas and learn from each other, understand the younger the Z generation, okay, how they learn, and they like ICT seriously. Okay, the problem is we are not, a lot of us, we are not familiar, we are not comfortable, and we're not using it, and hence there is this gap. Lastly is to focus on the mental well-being of the student, so that we can all live with the COVID as we move forward. So with that, terima kasih, thank you everyone, and I just open up the Q&A session.
Okay, terima kasih. Thank you very much, Professor. It is very interesting because I think nowadays everybody actually experience this. When we have to teach during the pandemic, and we may use online system, or I think in this year we start to have the blended learning. Okay, we just go directly to the questions. I'm going to invite more participants to ask the questions. You may post to the chat box, or you may raise your hand and directly ask to the keynote speaker. Okay, the first question, Professor, is it possible to practice sport using mask during the training? How it will impact for the health, and what do you think is the best solution to teach PE during the pandemic?
Okay, thanks for the question. In fact, right now, we have some students non-vaccinated, and the government policy is to encourage them to go for vaccination, but it's not compulsory. So we do have classes going on with the mask on, and the instructor teacher has to then moderate the intensity of the activity. So more breaks, and then the intensity has to be moderated. So that's one way we deal with a student who are not vaccinated. So it's possible, but I think that the teacher has to moderate the intensity. Okay. Yeah, so I hope I answered that question.
Yes, all right, thank you. We are going to go to the next questions. How to apply collaborative learning in PE?
Okay, so I will tackle this question in two forms. Online, as I shared with you earlier on, I can just use a Zoom. I use a breakout room. I can pair them in 4 or 5. Okay, depending how you want it to be. Like in my basketball lesson, the first activity they are supposed to do some shooting action. So if I'm partner with you, you just switch on the camera, use a handphone, record down the whole action, and then subsequently my turn, and then you go into the Zoom, the breakout room. You can actually do collaborative learning in pairs. I can also group them in 4 doing the same thing. So that itself is home-based collaborative learning, in that manner. When you're doing face-to-face, it's very clear. It's the same thing. I can apply the same record face-to-face. You do the movement. After that, you all come together and view and then discuss about the movement and give feedback.
Okay, thank you. The third question is quite similar with the previous one. So what is the equipment? What is the equipment should we prepare for blended learning?
Okay. As I mentioned, blended learning, okay, there are different ways, right? So if we are talking about home-based is what the student can modify or what do they have at home, right? So I think in the first place, I think in the initial stage, everybody say you must go and get a basketball, during home-based. It's very tough. Some do not have, some financially they cannot afford. So I think we need to think about, okay, so you probably one thing is to ask the kids, so what do you have at home? Okay, and then show them some of the modification. For example, I just shared with you just now the newspaper. Everybody, you just get some paper, you wrap it around, it's a shape of the ball, right? But it may not be actually the same, but I can do it. So that is home-based, okay? And then you talk about the kind of preparation equipment. I think the key is trying to understand what kind of equipment that can be modified and the student have or the athletes at home. They have to modify. Example, another way we're doing, some of the top athletes, they do not have the weights machine at home. They carry all those, rice back to work on their upper body strength. So these are the things they can find at home and still continue to learn, or train in that manner. Okay, so first again, trying to depending on what kind of activity you plan, and you require the student to do it at home. So again, as a teacher, I cannot be just doing anything I like. You need to think about what kind of skill can be taught at home, and when the kids are actually performing the activity or their movement, okay, would there be any safety constraint or not? Okay, so if that's the case, then probably that skill may not be suitable, to be taught during this home-based learning. Okay, and I think it's the best thing is to really check the kids or tell them, okay, when you're performing this activity, make sure you have enough space and so on and so forth. Because everyone at home, the environment is very different, right? But the safety is really important. So before getting the student to do or the kids to do at home, I think it's for the teacher to check, what kind of things they have, and the distance that they should have before performing that particular activity.
Yes, I hope this already answered the questions, yeah? Okay, next one. Have you noticed any psychological, motivational differences in players when they're playing in matches before and after pandemic? Has the pandemic affected their team spirit and fighting spirit in matches?
Okay, matches, because right now in Singapore we don't really have this opportunity to go into competitive mode yet. I think the most we are allowed to for basketball is 3 versus 3. That's all. But I think I just share with you because I'm also very involved in Basketball Association of Singapore. The national team training, okay, I think we also observe that the motivation of the players is badly affected. And the reason is very simple. Okay, basketball, the team game, just like soccer. You just train, modified numbers, and you don't get the actual game to play and compete is very demotivating. So the way we go about, so these are our problem, right? So it's no point every time, we all complain about the problem. So so we try to find solution. So we actually organize some modified competition. So for example, even though at the national level, we cannot travel out, we actually organize some 3 versus 3 intra competition. So they train, after a while, they have, we organize some mini competition. It's still within the government guideline. And then let the student, or the players will actually compete so that they see the meaning to train for something, even though the something may not be the actual, competition that they're going for. So I think that's the best we can do. Definitely psychologically, emotionally, they're all affected. But I think it's trying to help them to understand, okay, have more talk with them, get them and assure them something, how we can move things forward. So I think my last slide, I think, is for us as a teacher or instructor. We don't just go in and just, focusing on teaching skill. I think during this particular time, I think we need to focus more on the mental health. Okay, mental well-being, sorry. So we have to ask them how you getting, so and so forth before we go about teaching the skill.
Okay, thank you so much. I would like to invite one more questions directly, perhaps, in person. Okay, if there is no more questions, Professor, I would like to ask one last question. I'm quite interested when you're saying that we actually have to have 3: psychomotor, cognitive, and affective during the teaching. While you also said that psychomotor skills suffers the most during the pandemic. Well, do you have any experience of how to do all these 3 things in online learning, but maybe not PE, perhaps more something like, for example, I don't know, reading class or perhaps writing class in Singapore, perhaps?
Okay. Because I don't really have some classroom example, but I think, because the 3 domains actually is linked to PE and sports very closely. So if I were to just, make some, speculation that, online, we know if we want to use it, the 5 different circles I mentioned, it has to be authentic, active, collaborative, all these things. So I think when you are planning, whether it's a reading lesson or any, history lesson or whatever, we need to make sure that, if it's home-based, right now we are doing now, you cannot expect the learner just sit down there and listen to you, right? So there are something, psychomotor in terms of writing. Okay, so you can get some activity, get them to write. There's a psychomotor, right? Then after that, actually, after writing, okay, now you can, look at what you actually write, the storyline. I group them into 2 or 4 as a team to discuss about, okay, what they actually have written and my view about what you have written. So there could be a cognitive engagement, right? But because they're in the group, there's this affective domain that actually developing because they need to, discuss and agree, disagree, so on and so forth. So it can potentially be used in a classroom setting, using the example that I mentioned early on.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor. And I would like to close this, that we can still get the benefits and, of course, challenges in the classes, online classes during pandemic. And the last sentence from the professor said it that we need to change our attitude and habit in the teaching learning process. Thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have 2 more keynote speakers, Professor Takeshi Fukusako, PhD, and Professor Dr. Subir Kumar Sarkar. I would like to take it both together because Professor Takeshi Fukusako could not attend the live sessions. So Professor Takeshi Fukusoko will give us the video about the material. And then we just move on to Professor Dr. Subir Kumar Sarkar. So that I would like to introduce a little bit about the biography of Professor Subir Kumar Sarkar. Professor Subir Kumar Sarkar has completed his bachelor and master and also PhD in technology from Institute of Radio Physics and Electronics, University of Calcutta, and postdoctoral from Virginia Commonwealth University, USA. His research areas include nano devices and low-power circuits, mobile ad hoc networks, wireless sensor networks, RFID and its application, digital watermarking, and data security. He has authored 6 engineering textbooks published by CRC Press USA, Artex House USA, Penn Stanford USA, and 10 Company Ltd India. Professor Subir Kumar Sarkar is a senior member of IEEE Electron Device Society Distinguished Lecturer, Life Fellow of the Institution of Engineers, and Life Fellow of Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, Life Member of ISTE, and Life Member of Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. He has also received honors and awards. The IEE Distinguished Lecturer Certificate has been awarded to him in recognition to his services and contribution as IEE EDS Distinguished Lecturer in 2019. He is honored with Distinguished Scientist Award in 11 International Scientist Awards on Engineering, Science, and Medicine from FD Good Professional Association. He is also honored with the prestigious ITE BRIC ML&N Award 2019 for notable expertise in network domain. Is it okay to invite Professor Subir Kumar first, and then last we are going to play the video, okay, from Professor Takasuki. Okay. Do I have Professor Subir Kumar in the online? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Professor.
Yes.
Okay. Time is yours, Professor. Thank you.
Good morning, all of you. And my heartiest thanks to organizers for giving me the opportunity to give a. Hello.
Good morning, Professor.
Hello.
Okay, now we can hear your voice.
Yes, yes. It's audible. Am I audible, please?
Yes, we can see your PPT.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you to all of you. Good morning. And I heartiest thanks to the organizer for giving me the opportunity to deliver a talk on trust based on SON. And if we look into the last few years development in this area, we'll find that in the last few years, mobile analog networks and wireless sensor networks have been increased adoption in a variety of disciplines because they can be deployed with simple infrastructure and virtually no central administration. This type of network can be set up or deployed anywhere, anytime, because it poses very simple infrastructure setup and no minimal central administration. In particular, the development of managed and WSN provides tremendous opportunities in areas including disaster recovery, defense, healthcare, research, students, and industrial applications. And then what is the expectation from that on? Normally people expect that sender intends that only receiver should understand message content, nobody else. Then what is the problem with that? The rapid development of internet and wide availability of digital consumer devices such as digital camera, scanner, etc. have significantly improved the ease of access of digital information. This leads to the problem of illegal copying and unauthorized distribution of digital media. But because of universal electronic connectivity, electronic eavesdropping, viruses, hackers, and electronic fraud can threaten, therefore putting special importance on security. And that's basically the importance of trust or any type of security in self-organizing. And this is my
Excuse me, Professor.
Hello.
I don't think so.
Hello.
Yes. Yes. Can you hear? Can you hear me? Okay. Hello. Oh, okay. Yes. Professor, I don't think so. We move to your second PPT. We're still on the first page. Hello. Can you hear me, Professor?
Okay. So you see that none of us knows what might happen in the next minute. Yet still we work with synergy because we trust. And this is my background on this. I have on these two books on that, and you see that the IEEE magazine. Hello.
Sorry, Professor, we cannot hear your voice. Okay, maybe the committee would like to help. Okay. Professor, I think your microphone is not working here because we cannot hear your voice. It is okay with the PPT, but we just cannot hear your voice. Okay, for the participants, I think you can read for the PPT while we're dealing with the technological problem first. Ladies and gentlemen, while we are having technological issues here, I would like you to post. Oh, okay. Professor, okay. It's okay. While we are dealing with the technological issues, I think you may have something in your mind by reading the PPT, and then you may post the questions in the chat box. As we still cannot contact the keynote speaker, I suggest the participant to read the PPT and try to understand from the explanation on the PPT while we are going to try to contact our last keynote speaker for the voice problem issues. Thank you. Professor Subir, I'm so sorry that I need to cut the PPT first. We actually could not hear your voice. Hello? Okay, thank you so much. Yes. Hello? Hello, Professor? Okay, just be patient, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to wait a little bit. Okay. While we are waiting for Professor Subir Kumar Sarkar, we will have the third the third keynote speakers first. Okay, we just wait then. Okay, then we will go to the third keynote speakers first. How about it, the committee? Then the committee will play the video. Is it ready? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Takeshi Fukusako from Kumamoto University. Today, I'll talk about research and development of antenna technologies. So before talking about my topic, I'd like to introduce myself. My research field is antennas and propagation, which is very important technologies for wireless communications. So here's my some careers. Here's some academic background. Currently, I'm working at Kumamoto University as a professor. And also I have some professional services like this one, such as associate editor of IIC transactions and associate editor of IEEE transactions, antennas and propagation. And also I have also organized an international conference, ICCEM 2017 as a general chair, and also Fukuoka chapter chair. And also currently I'm working as a ADCOM member of IEEE APS Society. So here is my current project and past projects. So I have had some projects on microwave ferrite devices. And also currently I'm doing some projects on circularly polarized antennas, broadband antennas, small antennas, and metasurfaces. So they are very useful technique for supporting recent wireless technologies. So today I'll talk about some overviews of the recent wireless technologies. So maybe this will be related to the Society 5.0, which was proposed by the Japanese government. And also I'll talk about some brief explanation on possible 5G and 6G mobile telecommunication systems. And also here is my main topic. So I'll talk about some introduction of our recent projects on antenna technologies. So they are circularly polarized antennas and metasurface and metamaterial technologies, antenna sensor, and MIMO technology using metasurface. Okay, but here is some history of development of mobile phones. But since 1980s, automotive telephone services has started here in Japan. So at that time, the device was around 7 kilograms in weight. And after that, it has developed for these maybe 20 years from here to here. So from approximately 1980 to 2000s. Anyway, the mobile phone has popularized. So many people started using mobile phones during these 20 years. And after the 2000s, so the mobile phone users send not only voices, but also medias, such as videos, photos, and musics, like this one. So therefore, so approximately from 2000 to 2020, in these 20 years, so it was an era of multimediaization, okay? And since 2020, so 5G service has started. So after 2020, so the mobile phone has moved on to the new eras of finding new business values. So therefore, since 2020s, we have to consider the suitable application of using of 5G technologies, and hopefully 5G, 6G technology will be coming in around 2030. Therefore, as you see, many wireless technology has developed. So why such mobile phone has developed? So with such development of mobile phones, so we have to construct a new society. That is a society 5.0, the future state. So in this society, a human-centered society will be realized. What's a society? The society achieves both economic development, the system of cyberspace and physical space. Integration of these two are important. So passing through these 5 steps, after that, a new society will be coming. So during this, for industry, popular, and then now we can get some information from computers and the internet. For example, we can observe the variation in stock prices for investment and get information. And recently, self-driving car is available, but in this case, several sensors have been installed on the car in order to search the environment surrounding the car, and because they have to avoid collision and they have to keep safe, and therefore the sensors play an important role, and also collected information through the sensors is sent to the network. And also in factories, there are many robots. Robot works, of course, following some information which is gotten from the network. And also they send some signal of the situation into the network. Okay. So some analyzed results will be sent feedback to the physical space, and then they can modify several situations in accordance with the obtained data. Okay, so this is a society 5.0. So, but as you see, there are many connections, such as network, and also, of course, wired network is very important. But of course, there are many merits, but 5G is now developing towards the 6G technique. Probably the 6G era will be coming in 10 years from now. So during the development from 5G to 6G, the communication range will be expanded. For example, nowadays, we can communicate each other using wireless network on the land, and sometimes on the sea surface. Okay, but in addition to these situations, we have to communicate a network. But after the development of 5G, the network will be three-dimensional expansion, and also non-high, and also response is very quick, and so many terminals get connected to one base station. Therefore, a lot of terminals can be connected to the network through the wireless systems. And in addition to these applications, so some communications, such as people-to-people communication, but not only people-to-people, but also people-to-machine communication will be available. And machine-to-machine communication will be available. Okay. So the typical example is the vehicle-to-vehicle communications. So as I said, self-driving cars are now available, but each car have to recognize their environment using sensor, and also they can communicate with each other so as to avoid collision, for example. Yeah. Therefore, communication between the cars are very useful in order to avoid collisions or accidents. If there are some changes like this one, but for this development, some new technique is required for wireless technologies. So typical research and development field is a device. So for example, we have to develop new device. Has a very high quality software to control the wireless hardware. Okay. They're very important. That's why many researchers have some projects on telecommunication hardware and software, but some people, especially recently, many people has a project on developing new radars and sensors. Antenna works as an interface between the transmitter and air. And also at the receiver has also antenna, and it can receive the signal and get and produce information to people. Slide. I have summarized some R&D fields in wireless technologies, because some recent R&D field in wireless technology has purposes, such as to use high frequency, and in addition to this one, they have to some projects for high density integration. Because circuit stability is very important, stable circuit is very important, and low cost, of course, and low energy consumption is very important. Okay, and high power output is very important because there are many base stations and the frequency get higher. In this case, transmitting distance will be very short with an increase in high frequency. Therefore, each amplifier should have some high power for some higher frequency. And low noise amplifier technique is very important, especially for at receiver. And high efficiency is also important. So this figure shows some concrete fields in developing transmitter, receiver, and some systems in the air, in the medium. So for transmitters, hyper amplifiers is important. For receiver, low noise amplifier is very important. And for both, packaging and integration is very important. And phase shifters, filters, mixer, And such technologies are very important for commonly both transmitters and receivers. So especially for 5G and 6G, the frequency will be very high. So in this case, phase control is very important in order to control the antenna beam in array system and MIMO systems. Okay. In this independently, the antenna should be always installed into the handset. Therefore, we have to measure the total, all of the handset and the antennas. And also radio wave propagation also should be radio telescope applications. But radio telescope, this one, use circularly polarized antennas. And also we have some projects on antenna sensors. And recently, technologies. For example, in this one, in the urban area, there are multipath environment, multipath, like this one. So in this case, using the meta surface, they can focus the propagation to the mobile station. In this case, the communication capacity will be enhanced for high efficiency, not to spread the signal. This is very important. And beam control technologies at a higher frequency is very important. That's why for array systems, phase shifter plays an important role. Therefore, we have to develop how to control phase at millimeter wave band and terahertz band. And using the 5G technologies, vehicle-to-vehicle communication is important. So in my laboratory, we have developed some antennas for vehicle-to-vehicle communications. So the important things is the polarization shared antennas, because the environment of the car will be always changed. Therefore, we have to control the phase for diversity or some other purposes. But in this case, the coupling, there are 4 probes. That's why this antenna can be horizontally polarized and vertically polarized by switching the port. But in this case, the coupling between the ports are very significant problem. Therefore, in my laboratory, we have installed dielectric resonator to avoid the coupling between the antennas. Therefore, this graph shows the coupling. The coupling is less than minus 30 decibel between the 2 ports. But here is a radiation pattern at 28 gigahertz. If I reflection angle with a shift of the metallic strip, like this one. And this is a scattered radiation pattern. The scattered and reflected direction is changed with a shift of the metallic strips. Next one is the MIMO. So MIMO can enhance the channel capacity because by choosing the weight, complex weight suitably, equivalently, there are independent paths like this one. Therefore, we can enhance the channel capacity of the wireless communication. So for enhancing the channel capacity, we can use a reflection in addition to the direct path. So we can enhance the MIMO channel capacity. So this is our project. There are 2 sending antennas and there are 2 receiving antennas. So there are 4 paths usually for as like a conventional MIMO antennas. And if we install the metallic metasurface reflector and control the reflection direction, we can enhance the MIMO MIMO capacity. So we and next, what can antenna technology contribute to the future tech society? So as I said, the future mobile cell phone network will be expanded vertically and horizontally. Therefore, they may use satellite and HAPS and drones like this. And high gain antennas and metasurface are required to control the propagation path to enhance the channel capacity. Okay, but this is but there are several applications of circular polarization, such as RFID, ETC, mobile satellites, GPS. Because the antenna direction to each other should not be considered. Even if the antennas are directed to any directions, they can communicate each other. And ETC, sometimes there are complicated structure around the gate. So in this case, the circularly polarized antenna, when the circular polarization is reflected, the polarization will be cross polarization. Therefore, they cannot receive. Using these characteristics, they can avoid the direct path. That's why they can avoid the multipath phasing. 90 degrees phase difference. So in this case, we can obtain circular polarization. So in past several years, we have developed very wideband circularly polarized antennas using metasurface structure because they can have very low profile and wideband characteristics. So this is some principle. So finally, using the conventional, this is the axial ratio. Axial ratio means the ratio of the major axis and minor axis of the circular locus. Okay. That's why if the AR is 1, the ratio of E xi and E eta is 1, the polarization is circular polarization. They should be 1. That is 0 decibel for circular polarization. That's why if the axial ratio is less than 3 decibel, circular contour, and also it has a diamond structure. So using this one, there is no extra, we can avoid extra resonances. So as a result, we can obtain a very wide bandwidth for circular polarizations. Okay, but this is very important contributions. So in fact, the characteristics of metasurface is affected by the contour like this. So this is our findings through our project. Therefore, that's why we proposed. So there are a lot of rectangular unit cells, and their size of the unit cells are parallel to the contour of the substrate. But in this case, the contour side of the contour is 45 degrees with respect to the size of the unit cell. This is called diamond structure. In this case, we can avoid extra resonances. So we can analyze some extra resonant frequencies. So this is axial ratio characteristics. So in this case, when the linear polarization at 45 degrees is reflected, it can obtain the circular polarization because the metasurface can give a 90 degrees phase difference between EX and EY, and it can reflect it, keeping the same amplitude. Therefore, after the reflection, we can obtain the circular polarization. But at this frequency, since there is a resonance, in this case, the polarization is not circular polarization. Here is circular polarization, but here in this frequency, and the polarization is not circular polarization because of the resonance with respect to the length of 4 lambda then. Because each row has a different length between the edge and the edge. Therefore, we can obtain extra resonance. So in fact, the available bandwidth for 3 decibel axial ratio is expanded, has been expanded compared to this one. This is because we can obtain extra resonances along this direction. In this case, it can generate to EX component. Therefore, there are strong magnetic current along Y direction. This means there is a strong EX component. But in the case of diamond structure, there is no extra resonance. Therefore, it can, using this behavior, we can obtain circular polarization from this one. And the next topic is what can antenna technology contribute to the future society as a sensor. So from a convenient to protection for human life. But this is a very important change, recent important change in wireless technologies devices. So for automotive cars have to recognize their environment. So we have to detect the landslide. And also we have to obtain the building deterioration. We have to places. So for this one, a non-destructive inspection technique is needed to inspect without destroying the concrete. These are inside of this object. The resonant frequency is shifted low. So from this variation, we can obtain the variation of the object. This is also very important as a sensor. Next is also another sensor antenna. So there is a slit and there is also antenna. Okay. So depending on the support of this antenna, behind the antenna, there is a variations depending on the epsilon r of the interface between the concrete and the antenna. So in this case, this antenna is called interface antenna, sorry. And here is a probe antenna to detect the situation inside the concrete. The interface antenna is a connect between the probe antenna and the wireless transmitter and receiver. And also the probe antenna is installed into the concrete, and it may be soil, for example. So this is the structure of the probe. So here is the center conductor is extended inside the coil and will be sensitive to the variation of the surrounding in the soil like this one. And then when the sending antenna is moved, we can obtain the surface of the water under the ground. So as a summary, I have talked about the 5G and 6G mobile telecommunication systems. And I have introduced research and development field in wireless technologies. And also I introduced our project on antenna technologies, which are circularly polarized antennas and meta-surface and meta-material technologies, antenna sensor, and MIMO technologies using meta-surface. Okay, thank you very much. But I'm sorry, today I couldn't present this conference directly because I have another important job at my university. So I may not be able to come back to the conference. So in this case, if you have any questions, please send your question at my email. I'll send back when I can keep a time. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Fukusako. I would like to invite Professor Subir Kumar Sarkar.
Yes, yes. Am I audible, please?
Yes. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, I'm getting the
Yes.
voice.
I'm so sorry for the inconvenience, Professor. Would you love to present the PPT again? I'm so sorry.
Okay, okay. No problem.
Thank you. Thank you. Time is yours.
Good morning, all of you, and my thanks to organizers
Yes.
for giving me the opportunity, and also to go there. And my topic is on the
Yes, we can hear you.
Start. And if we see that in the last few years, that mobile and adapt networks and other social networks have increased adoption in a variety of diseases. And because of we can deploy it anywhere, anytime, that is a major issue. And also it needs a minimum central administration, and that's why it is becoming popular. But we should be happy with that, but we are not happy because our intention is that the sender should expect that only the receiver will be able to get the information. But in particular, it is happening the rapid development of internet and wide availability of digital consumer devices like digital cameras, scanners have significantly improved the ease of access to digital content. And that basically leads to the problem of illegal copying and unauthorized distribution of digital. And that basically leads to the development of security in self-organizing. And that's my topic today is the trust. We have other security mechanisms also, but we has been established that compared to those, the trust management is the relatively improved technology, and I'll be giving talk on that. So this is my topic title, that is trust, the degree of reliability in wireless network, issues and threats. And we said none of us know what might happen even the next minute. Yet still we work with synergy because we trust. And these are my some books on that area, and being by face-to-face in Arctic House and face-to-face and Arctic House, and IEEE Communication Magazine has reviewed my book, and also that the review that came into the IEEE Communication Magazine, and this is this is my labs and my scholars and my activities in my institute, and these are my registered scholars who come to under my supervision, long list. But I normally start my talk with some comments, and today is talking about different. That is the true laboratory is the mind. For behind illusion, we overcome the lost truth. And so that is given by Jagadish Chandra Bose. And this is the talk outline. The self-organizing network is an emerging technology which is used to train and monitor the environment.
Excuse me, Professor Sarkar.
Yes, not audible.
Do you share the PPT because we don't see it?
Okay, please.
I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Here, not here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So the self-organizing network is an emerging technology which is used to sense and monitor the environment. As those nodes are deployed in an open environment, the security is one of the essential factors or issues. The cryptography technique can ensure confidentiality, integrity, and authentication. However, SON also needs to deal with inside and outside attacks. For inside, also they nodes which are in its network, but they are maliciously working to spy the information with others, and so that's the inside issue. And other side issue that maybe attackers may attack the information. To deal with the inside attackers and compromise or malicious nodes, task management system is considered as a principal tool in the area of task management system can be implemented in various applications for security management, such as secure data aggregation, secure cluster head circuitry, task routing, access control, malicious attack detection, etc. The main objective for establishing the best performance SON is fourfold, which are as follows: that the design an energy efficient clustering method, and to improve the security node selection method, and to provide resilience against the task management, and to design a resilience method. So these are the things normally to ensure security. Then I'm little about the manage. A mobile ad-hoc network consists of a group of mobile nodes that dynamically self-organize, self-control to communicate with each other without effort. A self-organizing network is a network that can automatically change, configure, and optimize its topology, coverage, capacity, cell size, changing allocation based on changes in location, traffic pattern, interference, and situation or environment. Each node acts as a transceiver and communicates by hop when some of them are above their normal communication rate. Due to high mobility, the topology of the network changes dynamically, thus making routing very challenging. A significant feature to the ad-hoc network is shown here, and I'm just telling about the characteristics of managed. These are the characteristics: multi-hop routing, autonomous infrastructure list, dynamically changing network topologies, network scalability, variation in link and node capabilities, energy constraint operation. The wireless medium do not have proper boundaries outside which nodes are known to be unable to receive network ping. Wireless channel is weak, unreliable, and unprotected from outside signal, and which may cause lot of problems to the nodes in the network. Wireless channel has time varying and asymmetric propagation properties. Hidden nodes and export nodes problem may occur, and this is the MANET architecture. And you see that this has the application on middleware, networking, and energy technologies, and also the software. And these are the managed applications that the home and enterprise networking, emergency services, commercial environment, educational applications that we are satisfying or using now, and entertainment, center network, theatrical network, which is the major issue that is in and location service. Routing protocol for managed. Routing is a challenging issue in an ad hoc network. So routing can be of three different types. The classical, that is coercive or table driven. In coercive routing protocol, the route to all the destinations are determined at the startup and by using a periodic route update process. Reactive or on-demand routing protocols. In reactive protocols, routes are determined when they are required by the code using a route discovery process. Hybrid routing protocols. Hybrid routing protocols combine these two. And wireless sensor network is another when the wireless sensor network is highly distributed network of a large number of tiny, low-cost, tight, lightweight wireless nodes deployed to monitor an environmental system. A wireless sensor network, specially distributed autonomous wireless sensors. They are called nodes or modes to cooperatively monitor physical or environmental conditions such as temperature, humidity, light intensity, sound, vibration, pressure, motion, etc. And each node will be having its small sensing area of few meters, and normally it is 15 meters, and each node of both can sense, compute, communicate each other They can either receive message or transmit message and can transmit message using by self-configuration and multi-hop routing. The sync can use many ways to communicate with remote networks such as internet, satellite, and mobile networks. Finally, the task manager collects this transmitted data, and this is the wireless sensor network minimum structure, and this is the specific to the node and the sync, internet, and satellite and task manager that is the typical user. And these are the basic of internal structures of the wireless sensor network. And to the normal the sensing sensors made space capture digital or as well as analog. And if that's there is a provision for analog to digital conversion, and that will connect to the controller as to the transmitters and memory and the power. And the can change is also value. An application domain of wireless sensor network, the military field, medical, monitoring and healthcare, industrial control, homeland security, ocean and wildlife monitoring, building safety, earthquake, early warning and monitoring, environmental applications, intelligent green aircraft, and a smart road. And these are the applications of WSN, military applications, industrial control, security of homeland, that smart home, smart office, all these things can be included by this. And this environmental application, earthquake, early warning and monitoring, and aquatic, that means fish and other species, and road safety and these construction, and so the limitation, limited hardware, limited processing, limited storage, limited commercial communication capability, limited energy supply, limited bandwidth, limited support for networking, and new network is peer-to-peer with mesh topology and dynamically mobile, unreliable, and connectivity. There are no universal routing protocols for this, and each node acts both as a router as well as an application host. And limitations of WSN development environment is hazardous, unattended, hostile, and dangerous because it spreads all over in unwanted, unattended places, and susceptible to variety of attacks because it is open to all. Athletic and tampering nodes can be physically tampered and misconfigured by external or internal inside attackers. Adversaries force overtaking, and nodes are eyeball. Nodes must be economic, hence limitations on node capabilities. And due to resource constraint, there is an incentive for a node to act as a selfish manner, so that if not needed, it should not participate in the communication. If needed, then it will communicate, but so that it will save its power. Battery backup. And these are the node misbehavior of invalid. So there may be nodes can misbehave in different ways. That is called the malicious, and another is self. Malicious is mount attack, and says it will save resources, battery, CPU cycles, and memory. And you see that the forwarding, that malicious node, that mount attack, that includes the two different types, that is forwarding misbehavior and routing misbehavior. And forwarding misbehavior can be divided into packet routing, manipulation, fabrication, timing misbehavior, and routing. We will describe all of them. And routing misbehavior is a black hole attack, gray hole attack, and wormhole attack. And safety is the safe resources, battery, CPU, and that can be divided into self-exclusion and non-forwarding. Means it can remove from the network, or it can not forward the events that cannot participate even in the network. And the node misbehavior, that is a malicious behavior, its intention is to attack and damage the network. And selfish behavior, its intention is to save power, memory, and CPU. And malicious misbehavior can be of two different types. Forwarding misbehavior, that includes forward packet dropping, modification of the packet, fabrication of the packet, newly making the packet without and describing, removing the original packet, and timing attack is also that the incident, say a cyclone is announced that this time it will happen, and you are still transmitting it after that. So it's a meaningless stuff. And silent route and change, etc. Routing misbehavior, routes are basic, dropping of error messages, fabrication of error messages, unusually frequent route updates, cliff deviation, black hole, gray hole, and wormhole, etc. And selfish misbehavior can be of two types: self-exclusion and non-forward. And timing misbehavior is malicious nodes delay packet forwarding to ensure that time to leave of the packets are expired so that packets do not reach the destination before the occurrence of the event, that like a cyclone and other things that happening, that very time dependent parameter. But I'm sending it is sending it after the occurrence of that event, and so making it meaningless. And silent route change attack, a malicious node forward a packet to a distant node route than it was intended to go. Initially, it will think that this is route ABC, but it's sending it to ADEF like that. Route salvaging attack, a malicious node reroutes packets to avoid a broken link, although no error actually has taken place. So it has established the route, and it is when it started communicating, telling that there is a breakage in the route, but actually there is no link breakage. And steep deviation attack, a malicious node sends excessive number of packets to another node so as to consume computation and memory resources. So same information is sending several times to the node so that its resources are exhausted. So it will go out of the node because of its non-availability of power, non-availability of resources. So that is doing intention. And black hole attack, a malicious node claims to have the shortest path, but when asked to forward the packet, it drops. That's another issue. And gray hole attack is variation of black hole attack, in which a malicious node selectively drop the packet. In other case, it is dropping all the packets, but now selectively. If we find that it is meaningless, send it. But if it is having meaningful information, it will drop. Wormhole attack, a malicious node sends packets from one part of the network to another part of the network where they are replayed. That means they are keeping the network busy by sending the same information over and over again, so that no other information can propagate to it, and showing that it is busy. Self-exclusion attack, a selfish node doesn't participate when root discovery protocol is executed to save its own power. But it is helpful for itself, but not helpful for this network. Non-forwarding attack, a selfish node participates in the route discovery process, but drops the packet in the routing phase. And to protect, normally we have to apply some security and cryptographic technique and trust-based technique. These are the two techniques normally adapted. But let us see what is the drawback to this cryptography and why we are accessing the trust. So these are the cryptographic computation intensive and node limitations on memory, battery life, computation, and communication capability. Cannot detect adverse force overtaking, cannot detect physically captured malicious and communication failure nodes, hence total breakdown of the network. It requires much memory and communication bandwidth to handle new software packages, good algorithm, but no secrecy, because when it is decrypted, it is open source. And cryptography, and you see that the trust, cryptography security means no one is trusted and requires authentication all the time. But in trust means everyone is trusted, someone, and doesn't require any authentication. And encryption, the encryption security is required, but in every node evaluates the trust of neighbors based on previous records of the direct and indirect secrets. More complex and high overhead in all aspects, but less overhead, and it tells the degree of reliability. Hence, cryptographic security mechanisms are not enough solution. So it is, and what is then trust? Trust is a new tool to maintain security. Trust is a firm belief in the complete competence of an entity to act expected, such as the firm belief is not the fixed value associated with the entity, but rather it is subjected to entity's behavior and applied only within a specific context at a given time. This definition is given by him. And trust is the degree of reliability of other nodes in performing actions. It can evaluate it by maintaining a record of the transactions with other nodes directly as well as individually. And trust as risk, an individual is confronted with an ambitious path, a path that can lead to an event besides to be beneficial or to be an event perceived to be harmful, the still will trust. And trust as a decision. This definition says trust as the extent to which one party is willing to depend on something or somebody in a given situation with a feeling of relative security, even though negative consequences are possible. Then when the trust is very important, we know that in heaven everybody tells truth, and hence we don't require trust in heaven. Everybody is trustworthy, and in hell also, we know that everybody will tell the lie, and hence we don't require any trust there also. So in the hell and heaven, no trust is needed because we know who are there and what is their behavior. But in art, this is a mixed behavior. Somebody is telling truth, somebody is telling lie, and hence we require trust in art only. So this is serious. This is the hell and heaven, and our trust is not needed at all. But in art, we require trust. And the types of trust, there are normally three different types of trust: basic, general, and situational. So I am not going into that. And then the trust construct is 6 types of trust constructs are there. Trust, intention, these are the 6 types of trust constructs are there. And the trusting intention of a node, willingness of a node to depend on the information provided by another node in spite of having knowledge about the risk involved. And task behavior of a node, voluntarily dependence of one node on another node in a specific situation with risk associated. And trusting belief in node, confidence and belief of one node that the other node is trustworthy in a specific situation. And system trust in nodes occurs when the nodes believe that proper frameworks are in place to encourage successful interaction between them. Dispositional trust of a node, general expectation of a node about the trustworthiness of the node, other nodes under different situations. And situational decision to trust a node occurs when a node intends to depend on another node in a given situation. Example, node B wants to communicate with node A, therefore it communicates with the trusted third-party trust management system which is trusted by the node A. And characteristics of the trust, some characteristics of the trust matrix from wireless self-organizing network perspective. Trust is a relationship between two entities of a specific action. One entity believes that the other entity will perform an action. Trust is a function of uncertainty. The level of trust can be measured by a continuous level number, real number, referred to as the trust value. Different subjects may have different trust values with the same agent for the same action. Trust is not necessarily symmetric. A trust B doesn't necessarily imply that B should trust A. Trust is dynamic. Issue-based classification of trust is the issue-based, the integration of the system, type of observation, method of information, and method of information system, the network. And these are the explanation of this, the method of trust initialization. All nodes are initially trustworthy, that's 100% trust, and the reputation of node will decrease with all bad interactions. If we make a bad interaction, then it trust is initially the trustworthiness is 100%, then it will gradually reduce. And every node is considered to be untrustworthy in another situation, and that means it is 0. And when good interaction will increase it, so it is 0, then 1, then 2, like that. And every node is considered, and another one is every node is considered to be a trustworthy up to certain extent. It's a point. And good interaction will increase it to 0.6, 0.7 like that, and bad interaction will reduce it to that trustworthiness of 0.4, 0.5, 3, 0.2 like that. And method of information access. Method of information access. The trust system are broadly or categorized into 2 types depending on the manner in which the node access. Trust information in the network. Symmetric system, all nodes in this network have access to the same level of information. And asymmetric system, all nodes do not have the same access to the same amount of information. And the various methods to design task model. The following are the we summarize different methodologies that particular space, the risk algorithm, probability, weighting, Bayesian belief network, neural network, dating, and game theory. These are the techniques that are applied. And this is an example that it is an algorithm model which helps support the decision-making process. Here you see that a node N1 is gathering information about the N2, node N2, but not directly with the help of the neighborhood of N2. So it is asking N3, N4, N5, N6, N7 about N2 and gathering making a mathematical model for that. And the following are some quality of service parameters that normally with task value of a node can be calculated. That quality of services, these are the quality of service metrics normally we follow in doing the mathematical model of task. So you see that the basic task, how normally we take the direct experience. I give the task to somebody and we are taking direct information about him, and we can take a recommendation from third party to about the second one, and we are making some mathematical modeling, the task calculation, and we're getting the task model. This is a normal method. And some this is to work on that. You see that this is one word. The direct task is dt equal to s plus 1, s plus s plus 2, and its successful interaction, it is failure interaction, and initially dt equal to find file because at the beginning s and s equal to 0. And this is another that here you see that the successful interaction and unsuccessful interaction are measured for a long period of time, but a time slot is taken fixed. It will take the 25 hours, say, then it is within 24 hours, say it may be 12 to 5, then 1 to 6, then 2 to 7, like that. It is making it different slots and taking the average, weighted average of it, and we are getting the successful interaction and unsuccessful interaction, and from that we can take the task management scheme, that is a mathematical model scheme here. And this is our work. We have done it, and we have intentionally, we have taken 500 nodes, and we have intentionally tried to increase the number of nodes within each malicious node. And we found that up to 30 to 35% nodes, it is affordable, and up beyond that, the network is becoming very malicious in that case, and that normally it's out of 500, 130, and if it is 150 and more, then it is better also to abolish the network and make a network free. And there is another, this is the false positive, that means a node is giving bad information, that means about the good node, or good information about the bad node. So that we have seen that how much it is tolerable, that also we have seen. And this is also there, we have seen that some other cases also, that some task parameters are better priority and some are not having less priority. But normally everybody given that equal priority to all the task metrics. But we have tried to give the high priority to the higher good essential metrics, and the less priority to lower task metrics. And we have found that it's okay, it's working, and it can be done also in different way also. And this is a very open area, and task modeling, and it is a huge working scope is there in this field. And task modeling problem is inherently complicated due to the uncertainty involved. Bayesian probability, beta distribution are some of the tools that normally use proposed to be solved. However, design of a reliable and robust task framework for self-organized network like mine is still an open problem. And bootstrapping problem, most of the existing systems require considerable time to build tasks among these nodes because it is a time consuming. And so developing an effective algorithm within a short, which will work for a short period of time, that will be good work till today. And designing algorithm for the revocation of tasks in the node is another challenge. Expelling a node which is malicious due to misbehavior in a decision problem under uncertain and requires a formal mathematical approach to solve. Most of the existing approach solves it in an ad hoc manner, case to case, but not in general. In general, there is no solution, no model, or no equation that this is applicable for all types of instances. development of robust scheme that involves the nodes to publish the rating. Honesty is another open problem, and this is particularly challenging government as the whole nodes open do not belong to the same interest group. So it is a very open area, and you can apply it. And this is the references that books and theses and publications. I have given my areas also. You can see the others because I have given the topics that are very much applicable to my thesis. These are my research scholars PhD on this area, and the books also and publications. And then my direction and desert. I have worked around 10 years in oil and natural corporation, a Government of India undertaking company as an executive engineer. After that, I have served 29 years in academic institutes. And then what is my feeling that research is the transformation of money into knowledge. That means to do research, we require money, and innovation is the transformation of knowledge into money. And innovation means it may be new idea, it may be new product. By doing the research, then that only, in that case, the institute can survive. And finally, my desire, if I had my life to live again, I would still pursue an academic career. There is no better choice for me because I have served industry as well as academic, and I found that it's better. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Subir Kamar Sarkar.
If any questions in that case, I can.
Okay. While it's very interesting, we talk about various self-networking and various other types of networking, the benefits and the disadvantages. And then we actually go on with the theme of trust and the degree of reliability wireless self-organizing networks. We also have mobile ad hoc networks, wireless sensor networks. And then this network can adapt anywhere and anytime because it's simple infrastructure setup. And in order to prevent various attacks which VSN and managed servers, the possible solution can be adapted. And the trust tells the degree of reliability of other node in performing actions. And it can be evaluated by maintaining a record of the transactions with other nodes directly as well as indirectly. And I would like, of course, once again.
One question is in the chat box that explain the application of managed emergency services. That I have shown it. I have shown it. It can be disaster management. We can apply this of BSP in disaster management, even in flood or any earthquake. So all these situations we can apply. Even in COVID situation also we can apply this.
All right.
That will not involve in physical contact.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you for the clarity, Professor. We have two questions on the chat box, but I would like to invite more for the participants to ask questions, both for Professor Fukusako and also Professor Subir Kumar Sarkar. I would love to know, do we have Professor Fukusako? Okay. Good afternoon, Professor Fukusako. Good afternoon, Professor Fukusako. Okay. Let's just move on first to Professor Subir Kumar Sarkar. We have one.
Yeah. Hi, hello.
Oh, okay. Yes, thank you, Professor.
Yes.
We have a question for
Yes.
Professor Fukusako here. What
Yes.
is the implementation artificial intelligence in 5G wireless systems for solving
Yes.
various challenges in the massive MMO system?
Okay. Okay. So AI will play an important role in the 5G, especially for Society 5.0 system, because the Social 5.0 consists of both physical physical space and the real space. So especially we have to get some data. So such as temperature or such situation in factory, for example, and for example that it's also available for self-driving because we have to control the cars. That's why we have to collect such a data as a enumerated data and send it to the AI. So and it analyze and also give some future aspect and feedback to the real space. That's why AI will be play an important role. But for collecting data and analyze and send back for sending back to the real place, we need some 5G systems. For example, for self-driving systems, especially it should be connected Wi-Fi. That's why 5G system or beyond the 5G system will play an important role. That's all. Is it okay? Is it real answer?
Okay, Bu Hapsari Penny, perhaps want to add something, or is it clear enough? I think it's clear enough. Let's just move on to the second questions. We have it with Professor Subir Kumar Sarkar. Professor Subir, could you explain the application of minutes to the emergency services?
Yes, I have shown it. It can be used in earthquake, evacuation, and also in flood affected areas, and also even in COVID affected areas also you can use it because you have to throw it the sensor, need not to go physically there. And then the sensor that you have thrown it there, they will make a network, local area network, and they will make a cluster head, and cluster head will communicate in terms with the base station. So in that way, it can be seamlessly applied in the earthquake or flood affected areas, disaster management. All this time it's very possible, and also it can be used in medical services. So for lifting the patient from remote place and to treat them, so that also very helpful. Son will be helpful in that also. Am I clear?
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. I would like thank you, Professor Subir and also Professor Fukusako. And then I would like to invite more participants. You may ask directly by raising your hand, or if you prefer to post to the chat box, then we will read it for you. Okay. While we are waiting for the other questions, I would like to ask to Professor Fukusako first, and then next to Professor Subir. Professor Fukusako, I would like to know how about the application of this new 5G wireless networks to the difficult topography? I don't know, for something like the mountain or the area of the remote and not only remote area, but I mean like we have a difficult topography. That is for Professor Fukusako. And then
can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, that's a very nice question. But probably in the case of 5G or beyond 5G, especially, the wireless network will be spread three-dimensionally. That's why, in addition to the conventional base stations, they are planning to have some additional base station using drones and also some hubs, which will be flying in the stratosphere, which is approximately more than 10 kilometers height. So using such base stations, they can cover such a remote area. So this is a future plan, I guess. So anyway, there are some solutions to cover such remote areas. So now many people are discussing for beyond 5G or 6G. That's all. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. For Professor Subir Kumar, how these manets and I don't know how to pronounce it, wireless channel networks WS and about the safety in relation to the safety of the individuals and the society as well for the privacy and the safety, because we know when we have the digital era, a lot of the information come up to the public, and how to protect this kind of the privacy to one individual and in particular and the society in general. Thank you.
Okay, you want to know the protection of the sensors or protection information? You want to mean that protection of the sensors or protection of the information?
Yes, yes.
Which one you want, or both?
Both, and perhaps manets will be what I actually
In
want
manage
to know.
and WSN, you want to know that how the information is protected, or also sensors are protected. Is it?
The second one.
Second one, how is the information is protected? Information protection, that's why you see that the sensors are deployed in open space, so anybody can tamper it. So, and also you see that a node working in a network can maliciously work and spy the information to outside agency for its personal interest. And to detect that, there are several ways or several algorithms have already been developed to detect whether a sensor is maliciously working or honestly working. But there is no concrete and absolute and unique mathematical model that is applicable for all the cases. So whatever been developed so far, case-to-case basis. Since for a particular application, they have developed that malicious node detection, but in other situations, it may not work. That's why I put it into the prospect of the future work. I have given it here. Any work in this area is new and can be published. So any security of information is case-to-case based, but there is no uniformity or universality that I have an algorithm that is applicable for all the cases. Okay, I think.
Yes, that's clear enough. Thank you so much, Professor. Yes, I would like to invite another participants. Would you like to ask another questions?
Yes, no problem.
Both for Professor Fukusako and Professor Subir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I don't think so. We have another and more questions for this session. Thank you so much for joining with us, Professor Subir and Professor Fukusako. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you so much and have a nice day. And then for the participants, we will have a break. And then we are going to go with the parallel session at 1 o'clock. Then just go the floor to the MC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Sorry, I get late for coming to here because of another job.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes, please, Pak Sueb.
Yes, can I leave now? Okay. Thank you. I'm leaving now.
Thank you very much, our colleagues, Dr. Indah Nur Abida, for having led the plenary sessions with the very prominent speakers this morning. Of course, we thank you very much for the speakers for the great insights on recent issues in the respective fields. Thank you very much, speakers and moderator. So participants, we will have the parallel sessions after the break. So we are going to have a short break, but the parallel session will start at 1 p.m. So in the invitation link and the notifications to join the breakout rooms has been set by the committee. So you just click the invitation later on. The breakout rooms for the parallel session will be opened at 12:45. So as you enter the room later on, to make sure that you have set any name and you proceed to the respective rooms that you are assigned to, and the committee will be serving there for each breakout rooms to serve and to lead the parallel sessions. Again, so we'll have a short break. Thank you very much for your participations, and we'll see you again at the parallel session at 1 p.m. in the respective breakout rooms. Thank you very much, and good afternoon.